I'm burnt down. Screw this. All we need is $20 million. Hey, Netflix, how much would you pay me? It. We're in too deep. Every other day we'd have mental breakdowns. You're funny. You want a job? Just put this out there. I did not enjoy being married a lot.
Why is Jimmy cry when he brought up money?
So, I make videos.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Colin and Samir Show. I'm Samir.
I'm Colin.
And every week on this channel, we talk about the latest in the world of creators. So if that interests you, make sure to subscribe.
After we put out our breakdown video about our time with MrBeast, a lot of people in the comments were asking for the full interview.
This is the longest episode on our channel, but for us, experiencing 72 hours with Jimmy was so educational, and we pulled so much value from just being with him. I feel like spending the time to watch this full interview can really teach you a lot about MrBeast and just a lot about the career of being a creator. This episode of the Colin and Samir Show is brought to you by Jelly Smack. If you want to check them out, the link is in the description, but more on them later in this episode. Colin, roll the intro. All right, so I have a question for you. Can you describe to everyone watching where we are right now?
Yes. So, I got a mic on so I can move around a little bit.
Yeah.
I just bought this brand new studio and 100 acres of land around it. This is where we're filming all our videos going, not all, but all our indoor shoots going forward. I mean, ask me more questions. There's so much to talk about. It's impossible for me to list.
How much did this cost, and how long in the making has this been?
So the land around it, obviously the studio, the renovations and everything, and obviously we don't pay it all up front, but in total it'll cost over $10 million. But it's probably not a good way to start it, because there's so much explanation. It seems excessive. Why would you just buy this? You know what I mean? The reason we bought this is because of, as I've spent the entire day explaining to you, we had office and a bigger office, then a studio, then a bigger studio, then a third studio, and then and now it's consolidating, and it's it's a weird way to start it, because now it just sounds like I'm being expensive and lavish for no reason when there's a strategic reason why. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you started in your bedroom, right, at the cost of zero.
Exactly. But still, I'd love to work our way up, not just go, hey, look at this, because now I just seem like some dumb rich YouTuber. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So not only are we here in your, brand new studio, but we're here in your hometown.
Yeah.
And I think that's been one of the most interesting things to experience is spending a day with you here, even spending time with your mom, even some of the places.
Out of context. Yeah. That's a fun sentence.
But even spending time here in your hometown, we've met people who grew up with you.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. Everyone asks us, hey, I think people know that we're from out of town. So hey, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we're filming, some content. They're like, oh, MrBeast? And we're like, yeah. They're like, oh, I played baseball with him.
Really?
And it's really interesting to meet people and recognize you are still in your hometown. Exactly. And a lot of people who are from small towns in the US, they think I got to get out of this town to find success. So why did you stay in this town, and how do you think you found success staying here?
Honestly, it really was easier to just stay here. As I started making the videos bigger and bigger and hiring people, and I got warehouses and studios, you get so anchored down, you're just gonna relocate all your employees to LA and buy a studio space there that costs 10 times more? Why? You know what I mean? What are the negatives of being in a small town? I would argue with the internet and things like Zoom, where you can talk to everyone and we're so interconnected, there really is no need to pay 12% more tax because of, state tax in California, and then on top of that pay 3 to 5 times more for rent and all this other stuff. It's almost silly to be there for people in our position.
Did it ever cross your mind, though, that maybe you were missing out on opportunity to collaborate?
Not really.
Never?
No, I mean, if you're good enough friends with someone, they'll come down. You guys came down here. You know
we
what I
are,
mean? If there's someone I really want to hang out with, or I could just fly there when I need to. That bug's gonna annoy me. It's dead now. Thank you for getting rid of it. But if I really want to hang out with someone, they can just come down. You know what I mean? It's like a 4-hour flight.
Yeah, I actually think on the inverse, spending the day with you and shadowing what at least half a day looks like. I don't even think we saw your full day. We met up with you in the middle of the day.
That's true. Yeah.
And it was boom, boom, boom. We were going thing to thing to thing. And I think what I realized was being somewhere like this, the positives actually outweigh the negatives so much, in that there's so much focus.
Agreed.
And you are you're really moving from thing to thing to thing. I think we watched you workshop about 4 videos in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And that I thought was one of the most interesting things. And just sitting there in those meetings, understanding how you're thinking about what needs to happen. And then additionally, having the facilities and the team members who are ready to custom make things for the stories. Mm-hmm. I don't know if people realize, I didn't realize, and I've been watching your videos, I've talked to you, we've interviewed you. I didn't realize that every set is custom built for the video. based
They have
on
to
the
come
story.
from somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you would think that, okay, let's reuse that, or let's see how many videos we can film in this set.
Gotcha.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's part of the story.
Agreed.
So you started in your bedroom.
Yep.
At what point did you start investing into the videos at a different scale?
Great question. Literally put on me the entire time. When I used to make like $1 a day, I saved up for months and I bought a microphone, way worse than this microphone. And then I saved up for like half a year and I bought a computer. I the whole time I was like recording on my iPhone. So I was recording and editing on my iPhone when I first started, and then I got a microphone you could plug in, then I got a computer to edit on. And then after like 2 years of just filming on my phone, I had 100,000+ subscribers. But I still didn't have a camera because those things cost like $1,000. Or I was stupid. I didn't realize you could buy like a G7X for $400. So then I bought a camera, and after that I bought monitors for my computer, and I just kept going and reinvesting. And then I tipped pizza delivery people $100, and then I tipped a homeless man 10 grand, and then gave away cars, gave away houses, and last hand take hand off $1 million keeps it, and basically the entire time. So like for the last like 8 or 9 years, like every dollar I've made, I just spent it the next month on content. And I just did that every single month, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and here we are.
You give away millions of dollars now, $500,000 at a time, like large sums of money. But when you first started giving away $5,000 or $10,000,
It's first started with $100, literally like even less than that, like donating like $10 to Twitch streamers and stuff like that. But like the first real IRL one, I would order a pizza and I'd tip $100. I think I did like 3 in that video, so it was like $300.
But when it gets to 10,000, that's when I think the people, and I would imagine people around you, like your mom, are probably like, Jimmy, what?
Yep.
Are you sure about that?
Exactly.
Like, what was her reaction to that?
Well, so I did my first brand deal. I'm sure you guys have heard the story, but for people that don't know, I was offered $5 grand for a video. But this was when I was like 19, and it was so much money. It's like, Mom, look, and I was like, double it, and I'll walk outside and I'll give it to a homeless person. And they're like, no, you won't. And I was like, double it. And I like pacing around my neighborhood for 3 hours, convincing this guy like on the phone, just double the money. I promise the video will go viral, and I'll give it to homeless person. I was like, $10,000 just looks better in a title. It'll get more views. I promise your app will do better. And I ended up getting $10,000 and then gave it away. And my mom's like, why don't you just give away $8,000, $9,000? Why all $10,000? I was like, Mom, it'll look better in the title, and it's just better, And that's basically that.
Yeah. How did you know that, giving away $100? I guess it's natural, but like, why does it make such good content? Like, why do those things
at the
make
end of the day,
good?
it's something I've always enjoyed. Like, even when I was, I don't want to say poor. I don't want to over dramatize my story. Like, we weren't ever that poor, but when I didn't have as much money, if I saw a homeless person, I would, open my wallet and give them almost all the money I had. It's just fun, because then you see the reaction, their face light up, stuff like that. And so it kind of was just something I always enjoyed, because there were so much easier ways to get views back then than like having to give away money and less stressful stuff. But I just enjoyed it. And I thought it was interesting to see people's reactions and like to try to like, they're expecting $1 and you give them 100 and they're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like a mixture of what I thought was interesting, but also what I enjoy, if that makes sense.
Were there other people when you were growing up making YouTube videos? Here?
Around me?
Yeah.
No. That was the biggest problem, is I thought it was a freak of nature, because like people would tell me, all you do is talk about YouTube. You're too obsessed with YouTube. Like, get a life. Like from 13 to like 19, I never met anyone who cared about YouTube, like not even an ounce. And so I was so untalkative. People thought like there was problems with me because I just wouldn't talk to anyone, because all I would do is talk about YouTube. And after a while, like you realize like no one cares. Like you just get labeled as the guy that just only likes YouTube. And so I kind of just like didn't talk at all. And then when I was 19 and I had like 10,000 subscribers, maybe it was like 18. And that's when I started meeting a few other YouTubers online. And I realized like, I'm not a freak. I'm just like obsessed with YouTube, and that's okay. You just got to find other people that are like that. Most people want to talk about South Park when you're younger, or when I was younger, or cartoons or whatever. And I back then was figuring out how to drop ship or how to better edit a video or stuff like that. Like bring that up at a high school lunch table. Well, I guess now people care.
Yeah.
Bring that up at a high school lunch table 10 years ago and see what they say. They're like, what the f are you talking about?
What's interesting is I went back and I did this a while ago, but I did it recently again, where I go to oldest uploaded videos on your channel. You have some videos that are actually kind of similar to the videos we make, where you were talking about other creators and how they were growing.
Yeah, back when I did Call of Duty commentaries. Yeah.
So you would play Call of Duty and then you would talk about other creators. I thought that was really interesting to watch.
Studied so hardcore. Like I don't remember the YouTuber's name, but some YouTubers ad revenue, he was hacked and it was leaked, and it showed that he made like 300 grand over 3 years. And I made like 2 videos on that, and I was just so shocked. I was like, guys, and I remember like telling everyone I know, and they're all like, who cares? I was like, guys, YouTubers can make money. Like, I thought it was just cool to be. Did you know they can make money? I'm like a stupid teenager, like really young. I was like, how is this possible? I was like, that's so much money. That's more than like my mom makes, you know, in like so many years. And I was mind blown by it. And like I would find stuff like that and just make videos on it because I thought it was cool.
And some of those, like you were uploading Minecraft videos, Call of Duty videos. Did you have like a community when you first started uploading? Like, did you notice people in the comments that were the same people? Not really.
No, there's like maybe like 2 or 3 people that would comment on each. And back then, which I think small YouTubers should do, is I would reply to every single comment. And so I think a few people caught on that I would always reply. And so some people would just be like, I wonder how long it'll take for him to reply. And like, so that was a lot of my comments when I was smaller, but at least it kept him coming back. And it's like, it got to the point though where I was getting hundreds a day, and I was like, okay, like maybe I shouldn't spend an hour a day doing comments. And so I dialed it back.
What type of content did you start feeling like, oh, okay, now there's a like consistent subscriber base coming back to watch these videos?
It's a hard one. That one, I honestly have no idea. Like, it's so long ago, it's all like a blur. Like, I just remember like making videos, and I remember being like, dang, like everyone's telling me like, you're stupid, you know, you're very awkward, like, you know, why would you make it? There's millions of people trying. And I just remember being like, I don't know, I just like it. I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna die trying kind of thing. 'Cause also I was a big pussy back then, but I just, so after just grinding year after year, there's probably some blur between when I was 17, 18, 19, somewhere in there, it just started to get a little bit of views, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it seems like sports is probably the most
it's really like the only thing to
right?
do.
Like that's like the accepted thing here. Everywhere you drive, it's like
a baseball field, there's basketball courts, soccer,
We met someone today and they said they played baseball with you, and then they also said that Chandler was really good at basketball.
Yeah, that's good,
So maybe we'll have to take him on next.
I'll invite him over tonight.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
we'll take him on. Like, I mean,
Chandler's good.
The footage isn't going to show, but I'll just show one clip from the basketball game.
We played basketball last night, and I think they scored like 2 points.
Okay, 4, by the way.
It finished 10-4.
10-4. Oh,
At the time we started filming,
it was me and Sapnap versus them. And he scored like 1 basket. He's like, look at the clip you showed me before this.
Also, I just want to say that I had a steal before the basket.
That's
so
true.
I had the assist. So.
Double highlights.
It's interesting because it does seem like sports is like the most accepted thing here, but you dedicated yourself to something completely different. And did you mind at all that feeling of like everyone being like, what are you doing?
Well, of course. I mean, it's weird. I think the problem is like, I told this story years ago, it probably would have helped. It's so much more acceptable now. Like everyone wants to be a YouTuber. Everyone wants to be a TikToker. Like growing up now, like you can just tell by the people and the numbers and explosion of social media that like it's a lot more widely accepted. And also it might also be where I grew up in North Carolina. It's different than LA. But back then, like it really just was a strange thing. You know what I mean? To like want to dedicate your life to being a YouTuber and being that obsessed. And so for me, like there's probably like 0 people within a 1 hour radius of me that actually loved YouTube like I did and anything like that. So it's just like if you wake up and every day you obsess over something and you live and breathe it, and that's what you think about, that's what you do, that's what you study on and off, that's what you stay up every night grinding, and no one else even gives a flying about it. It's like you just feel like a weirdo, you know, like an outcast. And I was also like just dumb. Back then I didn't realize, oh, well, I just need to find different people. I thought like, oh, my whole life I'll just never enjoy talking to people. And then I met other YouTubers, and then I started talking to them like 10 hours a day, and I was like, then that's when the channel really started taking off.
Yeah, one thing you said to us yesterday, you sat and like kind of roasted some of our content and our videos, and it was like so informational and educational for us. And it's not stuff that you haven't told us before, but being around it is so important, right? Like sitting in your meetings and understanding. How important was that for you to develop a community online of
fans?
Of friends.
Beyond important. Like, that's just where you just, so like, imagine a world where it's just you working solo, and you work 12 hours a day every day for like a year, and you're just grinding, you make a mistake, you learn from it, you grind, you make a mistake, you learn from it, and you do that for like a year. And then imagine a different world where you have 4 friends who are also equally grinding in something similar. friend number 1 makes a mistake on Friday. He teaches the other 4 people. Friend number 2 makes a mistake the next week, teaches everyone. And then like you're all learning from each other's mistakes. You're all constantly studying 24/7 and downloading each other. Like after a year, you're like 2 years ahead of the guy who was just solo. It really does make a difference, especially like my friend group when I was like, I met a bunch of people when I had 10,000 subscribers and we all like, we agreed not to drink, we didn't do drugs, like we didn't date, we didn't do anything. We just literally obsessed from the time we woke up to the time we went to bed. That's literally all we did. It's wild. Like I've told this story before, but for people who didn't listen to our other podcasts, like one day I literally got up and we had an 18-hour Skype call. And then I went to bed, and that's all I did. And we were just tearing apart YouTube videos, studying trends and stuff like that. I don't even know how I got food. Like, pretty sure I was just ordering food so I didn't even have to leave my house so we could keep working. Like, it was that level of obsession. It was just dumb. It was so unhealthy.
Do you still talk to some of those people?
Oh, I talked to all of them. Well, not all of them. I talked to most of them.
Wow.
Are any of them here in person with you now?
No. One of them, his name's Dylan. He's
Dylan,
killing
the
it.
guy I talked to?
Yeah,
too?
exactly.
Dude, he was, I thought about him for the next week after that, after
He's
I
so
chatted
smart.
with him.
Yeah, he's good.
He's super sharp. I
He's
told
killing
Colin
it.
about him too, the Rebound, the NBA. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really
He's
good.
really sharp.
Yeah,
His
I like
yeah.
him a lot. And so he's always been kind of like my sounding board. And like, if I have a question, like, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, he's usually pretty good at helping me think it out. Like, I've probably spent 10,000 hours talking to him over the course of like the last 6 years. It's wild.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting is that, you made all of these friends and you had to Skype them, right? Like no one was here with you in person. But when we were spending time with you yesterday, I mean, there's people everywhere. Serious organization.
Not only are there,
That was back when I edited my videos, set them all up, tore them all down, did literally everything all by myself. I didn't have like a single employee until like 4 years ago.
So like personally for me, it's been tough for me to add employees because I have a hard time like giving up control and I don't always know how to manage.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's like a really good strength of Samir's.
Uh-huh.
How did you go from even just making that decision to hire one person?
It was brutally hard for me, man. The first one was just an editor, and even then it's like, because I'm so particular on how I wanted it. And I also didn't have an office or anything when I first started. So I just set up a computer in my room, and he would come over and edit the videos after I finished, and I would just watch him edit. And then I would just be like, why'd you cut that? Why didn't you cut this?
That's every editor's dream, is to have someone sit there and
That is a
watch.
nightmare.
I know. But I was like, well, like, every YouTuber says it. It's like, no one will ever be able to replicate my style. I got to edit it. But newsflash, someone can. It's actually not as difficult as you think. But back then, I'm a teenager. I didn't understand that. At the start, it was just a lot of like micromanaging like that. But even then, it still freed up so much time. Because I just kind of got to the point where I was like, I can't stand editing. I had edited probably like 1,000+ videos in my life at that point between that channel and other things I had done. I was just like, I just don't want to do this. I just want to make videos. And so that first one, and then I just was like, oh, why don't I I think I did a video where we like smashed 4,000 plates, like dropped them to see how they'd break. And it's like, well, why don't I hire just someone to help me pick up these plates and, hire someone to help with this. And then it just, I started with like 2 or 3 people, and then every month I just hired someone else as the videos got bigger, and here we are 4 years later.
Yeah. Almost every podcast I feel like you've been on, or every time you talk about YouTube, you always talk about how you reinvest everything back into the channel.
Literally everything.
And I think spending time with you here, what I noticed is that's actually not just money, it's time.
Yeah.
You also reinvest all of your time.
You gotta
or
live
just
and breathe
invest.
it.
Yeah, you invest
That's it.
all of your time into it. And I think that's something that is beneficial of being where you are, is that you have that ability. And then also, the concept of hiring is just so that you have more time to invest.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
Into the
and
things
that's
that
where
matter. Yeah.
a lot of people like. Again, the thing is, everyone has different priorities. If you want to make a few $100,000 a year and just, coast or whatever, like, not everyone has ambition and stuff like that. But if you really do want to be the best you can possibly be the biggest YouTuber, you should look at hiring as a way to free up your time so you can do more important things, and even then, and hyper optimize every little minute. And anything that isn't work, you should outsource to someone else so you can recharge, so you can work again. You know what I mean?
So we also went to multiple spaces while we were here.
Yep.
When did you start filming, or when did you get your first space outside of your bedroom?
Oh, that's a hard one. I mean, the videos just kept getting so much bigger. I can't tell you which video, but if you watch my videos, when I stopped filming in my room and I started filming outside, it gets so hot here. I was like, I don't want to just film outside, and I burn so easily. And so then we got there's like an old firefighter building or whatever. Like the floor was yellow. It was hideous. There's 2 garage doors where the fire trucks used to come in and out. That's where our first ever like studio. It was a really small warehouse. I started off in my bedroom, like we talked about earlier, and then I got a little office building, like one room, basically. Well, it's 2 rooms. They weren't really that big. And then we outgrew that in like 3 months. And then, my mom told you guys the story yesterday. And then I got a bunch more office space, like 4 or 5 offices. And then I got like a little warehouse. Then I got a bigger warehouse. And then I got kind of like a campus, like 2 warehouses, because like the videos are getting so big, and you have to work on multiple videos at a time, because most of our videos takes months to produce, and I don't just upload 2 or 3 videos a year. So if you're working on like 5 videos at a time, and one of the videos takes up an entire warehouse, and another video takes up an entire warehouse, well, then you can't work on the other 3 because 2 warehouses are full. So then that's what led us to getting this big place, because it's so huge we can work on multiple videos here at the same time. That just for you YouTubers that are wondering, like, how do you get to this point? Like, it's usually a slow snowball.
When you're first starting, you're saying, okay, I'm now making X amount of money. I can spend X amount of money on my videos.
I'm saying I made money, I spend money.
Yes.
All of it. Yeah. Forever.
The thing that we not only realized from talking to you, but actually sitting with your mom and looking at.
I showed them my finances.
Yeah. So Jimmy sat us down and showed us his finances, which was amazing. It was so educational. But the thing that is,
I showed him how I lost $500,000 on a video.
so you go from making money, spending money, to making money, losing money.
on some videos.
On some
and then
videos,
other videos
right?
have to make money to make up for it. Yeah.
So I guess I was going to ask you, like, when did you get that comfort level of saying, I'll actually spend, I'm okay with
the
like,
entire
just
time.
The entire time.
Ever since I was 13. I mean, even though I wasn't monetized at 13. I don't think I got monetized until I was like 15 or 16. But ever since I got my first YouTube paycheck, I just always spent it back on YouTube.
Was that because the belief was distribution is the most valuable thing?
I just wanted to be the biggest YouTuber I could be. As not like, I mean, I don't know. I'm a dumb 15-year-old. Like all my friends play, balloon tower defense in class and talk about that. I don't know. I just was I want awesome, better equipment to make better videos, and I just want to make better videos. And I mean, now I'm a lot more strategic, but back then it was just like I just want good videos. You know
what was your relationship to money when you were growing up?
I mean, it's hard because I don't want to like overplay it. Sure. You know, what I mean? It's not like I was like worrying where my next meal would come from, but we weren't the most well off. Like it was very quickly came to a point where I was making more on like a single brand deal than my mom made an entire year, and she was like raising me and my brother and sister and stuff like that. It was.
But did you desire money like when you were younger?
I've always want money so I can make better videos, so I can grow my channel. Yeah, but it's like no, I mean like, dude. Like the type of stuff I do now would have been unfathomable to anyone back when I was younger. Like so unfathomable, it's crazy. Like if you told me when I was like 15 that one day I'd make $100,000 a year, I would have been like, what the f?
Yeah.
People make that kind of money?
Right.
Like I thought it was crazy that a YouTuber made like $300,000 over the course of a few years. You know what I mean? Like it's like it was pretty brutal. Like, you know, a few $100 was like out of this world insane back then, you know?
Yeah.
The video we talked about yesterday where you lost $500,000 on that, though, when you look at that number, does that worry you?
Well, no. I mean, at the end of the day, I could spend less per videos if I want to. I'm just focused on making the best videos possible, period. I don't care about making money. I don't care about time. I don't care about anything. I just want to make the best videos on the planet. But at any point, if I was like, oh, I need to stop losing money, I just don't spend $1 million on the next video. Just spend $100,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One thing Colin and I were talking about yesterday, after we left, we were like, I think Colin mentioned to you that this feels like the modern day movie studio, right? Like we're going into creative meetings, we're listening to development, we're understanding like production problems that you guys are trying to solve.
A U-Haul drove in here. This morning,
and we didn't even feel like there was something in here. There was a huge truck in here, and we just went about our.
Yeah, like, I guess that's normal. Yeah, that's normal here. That's fine.
Yeah, that's funny. Did they come to get stuff from over there?
They came to pick up stuff. But it's a modern day movie studio. But you're actually even at spending $200,000 for what you're making for the type of distribution you're getting. It's actually way less than TV is spending.
Yeah,
right.
I know. No, it's interesting too, because if I go to them, I'm like, hey, just for fun, it's like, hey, you want to give me some money to produce a TV show? And I'm like, no. It's like, oh, it's like, okay, I guess I'll just, I have no interest in doing that type of stuff, but it's funny because sometimes I poke at them to like see if they'll give me money, and
no one is interested.
I guess they just don't believe that I can do dope stuff with like $1 million. Like even just something as simple as like $1 million an episode to like just go give away money to people. Yeah. Like they'd be like, no. And it's like, I spend that on most of my YouTube videos at this point. And I know it would like kill it for them.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I just want to be a YouTuber. I don't really care to do that type of stuff. But you know, it's always fun to be like, hey, Netflix, how much would you pay me?
Right. All right, quick break from our conversation with Jimmy to tell you about the sponsor of today's episode, Jelly Smack.
Jelly Smack generated over $100,000 in incremental revenue for over 2/3 of its creators last year. Over $100,000 for
a lot of money.
2/3 of its creators.
Jelly Smack helps creators unlock their full potential, and that's why they're trusted by some of the biggest creators on the platform, like MrBeast, Pewdiepie, Phil DeFranco, and Yes Theory, but they also work with creators of all sizes. So if you're a creator who focuses on making YouTube videos, Jelly Smack will take those videos, they'll cut them, and they'll distribute them across multiple platforms. They'll also invest in the content to both increase their revenue as well as their audience.
And one of the most amazing things about Jelly Smack is that it is at no expense to you as a creator. So it doesn't take any time away from you, nor does it take money.
They actually will just take your YouTube videos and cut them with their team of editors. And not only do they have a team of editors, they also have software that actually optimizes the video for each platform. Now, we've been working with the Jelly Smack team all year long, and tons of creators work with Jelly Smack. So if you're a creator and you think that you'd be a good fit for Jelly Smack, head over to jellysmack.com, click get in touch, and tell them Colin and Samir sent you.
All right, back to North Carolina and our interview with MrBeast.
I mean, part of like seeing all the different spaces was we met all these different teams. It felt like there were so many different departments, so many different teams that we met. And everyone, first of all, is incredibly nice here. Everyone has been so nice to us. Like we feel incredibly taken care of. But outside of that, like everyone is such, like you've curated a team of people who are just so hardworking.
It's like all about the work.
Yeah.
There's no fluff.
I'm blessed. I agree. We got a lot of great people here. And obviously, you know, like the videos we do where, now I'm drawing a blank, like selling houses for $1 or putting 1,000,000 Orbeez in someone's backyard or whatever the stupid things we're doing, or filling a person's house with slime. Like I can't do that on my own. Obviously, I need help. So blessed. Yeah.
So how did you go from hiring one editor to hiring the next person, the next person, the next person?
It's literally just like, it's not like I just woke up one day and I have dozens of employees. Like, it was just like, I've literally just been hiring like a person a month for the last 4 years. Like, you know, as the videos, it's like, cause it's also not like, you know, I gave a homeless guy 10 grand and then, you know, the next day I'm buying everything in 5 stores, you know, and I'm needing 100 people to fill dozens of U-Hauls and stuff. Like, it was just a slow progression up. And along the way, we just pick up a person and another person, another. And
how do you find people? Because I think that's something that YouTubers have a really hard time with.
I don't really know. I mean, I've been doing, like I said, 4 years. Like, it's a very, very, very slow grind hiring all these people. I honestly, there are way more qualified people for that. If someone knows how to find great talent, please reach out to me. I'll pay you.
Yeah, I personally loved the creative meetings. I thought those were the most interesting to be in, just the way you guys are thinking and the way like everything has to fit together. And you're thinking obviously very much in like terms of retention, but your whole team is also thinking the exact same way.
As you should.
Yeah, and like the problem solving you guys are doing is so specific to YouTube, right? You know what I mean? Like it's not problem solving that if you walked into a movie studio that they're thinking about. And I think actually that's some of the problem with what's happening in Hollywood is that they're thinking about the fact that something on Netflix is competing with one of your videos. Do you know what I mean? Like when I'm watching an internet video, whether it's Netflix or YouTube, like you're on the same playing field. So you actually have to compete in the same.
Well, I mean, I'm sure
world.
they shoot for retention as well. We're very, very serious about it though. I don't like using cinematic shots or, you know, unless like you have multiple cam setups here. Like if I'm talking to this camera and you're not cutting it for too long, that's boring. You'll lose retention. But if I talk and you cut to that angle while I'm talking and cut back, and you know, it helps it. And it's not bad to be obsessed. Like if people aren't clicking off, that means they're entertained, you know? So I'm hyper obsessed with just making sure people actually like what they're watching.
Yeah.
I think the thing is though, you know, Netflix sure cares about retention, but they're grabbing content from all over, from people who aren't basing all of their data and analytics off 10 years of just uploading to Netflix.
Right.
Yeah,
and that's what's entirely different about creating for YouTube is that you're taking the metrics from one place and have been for the last decade or more,
which
right? Like,
it just gets OP when you just do it and you just study year after year after year after year and you learn from every mistake and you have other people doing it and you're teaching each other and like if you want to be a YouTuber, if you're watching this, right? Like, and you're thinking in the scale of 10 years, like if you literally are grinding and you're obsessed and you're just every day studying and learning and you surround yourself with smart people and you just work like hell, to be honest, for 10 years, like there's probably a good chance you'll make it. But if you do that over the course of 6 months or a year, I don't know, you know? But that's why I like to think over the span of a decade. A lot of people are very short-term sighted, but you know, as long as you're innovating, adapting, reinvesting, I think if you do it intelligently, like you have a good odds of, I don't know, like killing it, you know?
After we hung out yesterday, I went back and watched the FBI video again. And I watched the first 40 seconds. And I was sitting with Colin showing him, like, a lot of what we talked about, I was seeing in those first 40 seconds. And I was like, you really do all those things. And those first 40 seconds were so jam-packed, and you introduced so many new things. Like, so much new stuff between both the visuals, too. I mean, even the concept that you say in the first 40 seconds. First of all, the visuals are already changing, but you also say there's an NFL stadium, there's a private jet, and there's a maze.
This is why you should watch the video.
Yeah.
See these things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the thing people undervalue the most is literally the first 10 seconds of the video. Like I think I can quote it. I tied up an FBI agent and I have $100,000 in this bag. Here's a knife. Good luck. And I just run away. Like it gives you everything you need. No wasted words, short and concise, and then tension.
How much time do you spend on those openings?
I'm a perfectionist. It's so important. Like that's your first impression for everyone clicking on the video. So like I like the whole time leading up to that, I'm just constantly obsessed with mostly the first minute, just like making sure like if I were to click on this video, I would like the first minute and that it would hook me. You know what I mean? Yeah,
you had a video of ours that you said you were interested in the thumbnail. You clicked on it and you were bored after 5 seconds.
I can tell you, it was the one about the hype house.
Yes.
Why everyone's leaving the hype house. And I showed them on my phone. I was like, the title and thumbnail made me tap, and the red bar was like so tiny you could barely see it because I clicked off in 8 seconds. I was like, this is me at my house 4 days ago before you came down. Clearly, you just didn't grab me. And that was really eye-opening for us. And you recognize, like, I think a lot of times you talk about obsessing over the content and really getting into it. And I think sometimes it's hard to understand what that exactly means. And then when you said that, I was like, oh, that's what it means. It literally means that there was a big problem, and you predicted that about 40% of the people left in 10 seconds. It was exactly 40%. I could tell. Yeah. And I told them the remedy for this is they need better friends. 100%. No offense to people that are their friends. I know that they like you, but the fact that no one's like calling you up after you uploading that and just roasting the hell out of it and going like, dude, this isn't the best you could do. Like, and it's not a knock on you guys. It's actually them like someone should say like, hey, you guys are too smart for this. Like you're better than this. You can make a video better than this, which is what you should do.
Yeah, and I think that is what I was going to bring up.
If you have their phone number, call them and say that.
Call us right now.
Next time you watch a video and it's not, I don't want to swear too much, freaking perfect, call them and say, hey, this is garbage, here's why, fix it.
You can also DM us.
So that's totally on our friends. If you're a friend and you're watching, that's on you.
That's not on us.
Dude, like even like my FBI video, like, you know, my team was working on that for months and whatever, we probably spent over $500,000 between everything. And I uploaded, I'm like, this is like a perfect video. It's so good. We're so perfected. And then, you know, I have like 2 or 3 people that call me and they just shit on it. And I'm like, oh, that kind of hurt my feelings. I'm like, but he's right. You know, like this part was a little fake. This scene was a little drawn out. Could have done this a little bit better. And it's like, that's what you need. No matter, there's no such thing as a perfect video. Like someone should always call you and shit on your video, because it could be better. Like that's, because imagine if someone does that every video and you upload hundreds, if not 1,000 videos over the next 10 years, and every single time someone's critiquing you and you're applying what they're critiquing. Like imagine the compound effect over that time span. It's invaluable. But if you upload 100 videos and very few people are shitting on them, then like you just lost so much compound effect.
Something you told us yesterday is that we need to have a checklist of all the things that need to be checked off.
Because I talk to him quite frequently.
That's true.
And every time I give him the same advice and he'll apply some of it and then he'll like revert back. And I'm like, God dang it, put it all on a checklist so I can tell you the things to do. And then going forward, just check them off before you upload a video so you do them.
Yeah, we talked about that today because one thing that we realized was everyone on your team also is holding you accountable for some of those checklist items. Yeah. And that's when we were like, oh, we need our team to hold us accountable.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm like, no, that doesn't actually matter. Like that would be an extra 2 hours of work. And they're like, yeah, that would help retention. They're like, who the are you? Wait, you don't want the perfect video? I'm like, you're right. Let's do it.
That was the thing that I think I was so excited about in those creative meetings was everyone was on the same page. Like it wasn't just like, hey, whatever Jimmy says.
Exactly.
And I thought that was really cool.
Because I'm not an omnipotent being. Like I need pushback. I need people that like, there are people with better ideas than me. You know, like one of the OP things about hiring people is like, you know, if you're editing a video, you can probably only devote 20% of your time to it, or whatever, 30%, 40%. If someone else is editing it and that's their job, they can dedicate 100% of their work time to it, right? So since they have 3 times the amount of time to edit that video, they should be able to edit it better than you, even if it's only 20% better, because they have more time. Right. Same with like thinking creatively or like building sets or doing anything. Like you have, like, as YouTubers, especially people who build side businesses and have side channels, there's like 50 things that need to be done. And if you split your time amongst it, they're all only getting a few percentage of your time. So like someone should be able to do that job better than you because they're giving it 100% of their time. And that's like the OP part about hiring people, which is obvious, you know?
Yeah. So when you first started hiring people, it sounds like you hired people for the execution, right? Like I filmed a video, I need it edited so I can move on to the next thing.
Yeah,
or,
well that, and then I was like, I don't like moving boxes. Like,
sure, yeah.
I'd rather
but
be
I need
making
like
videos.
I need this to move from here to here, right?
Yeah, like one of our first people was literally just like, he just did grunt work. He would just move boxes. He was happy as could be and just was just like, pick up a box, move it, or I need this thing or whatever, yeah.
When did you then start hiring people to look forward to other videos, right? So not just stuff that you've shot and needs to get done or production.
Very slow progression.
Slow.
I mean, yeah, because I'm sure like just 3 years ago we probably like came up with what we were gonna film like the week before. You know what I mean? Like like planning months ahead and like working on, because you know, like if I'm burying myself alive, I can't do that next week, right? Or I could now because I've done it, but when we first came up with the idea, like that's something that takes like 100 days. Like you got to build the coffin, you got to bury it for 10 days to make sure it works. You got to, you know, figure out how to get air into it and the medic and all that type of stuff. Then make the area look nice so it's pretty on film and figure out lighting. So it's just like the videos just slowly got more complex, and obviously I just had to bring people on to figure it out.
How far in advance are you planning?
Do you know, Tareq? Just how far out is the calendar? Isn't it 3 months? Yeah, right now it's not too far out, 3 to 4 months.
So yesterday, though, we went to 3 creative meetings back to back about 3 videos that are pretty much immediately in production.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to spend 100 hours alone on an island. It might change. I might pussy out. But as of right now, I'm going to spend 100 hours alone on an island.
That one sounds crazy, by the way, from the creative meeting we were
in. And then a different video for $500,000 that I don't want to spoil. And what was the third one we talked about?
It's the escape room.
Oh, yeah. And then I'm going to attempt the world's hardest escape room.
Yeah, and that's the one specifically where we were like, oh, because it's the world's hardest escape room, each room is part of the story. So each room needs to be custom built.
Exactly.
Based on retention.
Because like we scouted all the best escape rooms. They're pretty terrible. So we just decided build our own so we can make it epic. And obviously since I'm building it, I'm not the one doing it. But when you guys see the video, it's well, you guys know, but it's a pretty cool twist.
When it comes to retention, obviously there's things you can do in the first 30 seconds, the first minute. Yep. Are there checklist items you have to get people to 10 minutes, to 15, to 20?
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard with a single storyline if you're doing like a double-digit minute video to just have that one thing grip their entire attention throughout the whole video and pay off at the end. So typically, if you're doing a longer video, you should introduce like a side story and like you should have some plan halfway through, like to re-engage them so they don't just get bored. You know what I mean? Like if I just said, like, if I hand you a camera and I had a camera, it's like, okay, if he tags me, he gets $100,000, and then I just run, and that's it. It's just me running through the woods, and him just running through the woods after me. You can't make a 15-minute video out of it, you know what I mean? But if I do that, and then like 3 minutes in, I pull a lever, and a bear comes out and starts chasing him, and he has to get away from the bear. I don't know, obviously we wouldn't do this, but kill the bear, and then he starts chasing me, and then 6 minutes in, I jump across the lake, and as he goes to jump through, I press a button that shoots him to the moon, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, now all of a sudden it's interesting and you're watching, right? And that's it, right? One is just a single story and it's boring. The other has side stories that like re-engage people.
So that like introducing other narratives.
Well, actually, you know how we were talking about Dylan earlier?
Yeah.
So he just said, I'm getting close to 70%. I'm almost a decent YouTuber. And he sent me a graph where his new video had 65% retention.
Oh, wow.
Because I told him if he doesn't get 70% retention on a video, then he didn't do something right.
Wow, I don't even want to pull up our retention.
Yeah.
70%. That's what you need. If it's below that, figure out how to get higher.
We're probably at like 40% right now. So we got some work to do.
We were talking earlier, we were saying like a lot of times in our videos we'll be like, this video is about this, 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 and that. And we were like, well, what if we actually held one back and at that 4 or 5 or 6 minute part, we're like, and the one thing we didn't tell you was this. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it like takes another direction.
But I also think the thing you said that I think is important is that it's not always just a bear that you have to bring in as a dual narrative, right? It also could be, like you mentioned, the visuals, right? In a lot of our videos, we have like really fast moving visuals, custom animations. That's what makes it interesting.
Exactly.
like if you're not a creator who's doing maybe bigger stunts or anything like that, and you are explaining things, your visuals can be
as simple as an ant crawling on your skin and biting you. I don't know. Like it doesn't have to be big. Yeah.
Or in the case that we were talking about, some of these shorts creators are gaining massive viewership by making Subway sandwiches or making ice cream and telling stories.
Shout out to Milad.
Shout out to Milad and Dylan LeMay. They're like, 82 million views making ice cream and telling a story.
Yeah.
So it's like, there you go. That's visual. It's interesting. And there's another narrative where he's telling a different story about.
You could probably paint a bowling ball and people would find it entertaining. Like there's an audience for everything. You got a good personality, you're passionate, and like, you present it in a way where it's entertaining. Like people will watch it. I'll watch anything at this point. We're all messed up in the head.
One great example of adding other narratives is your Reacts channel. Mm-hmm. I think it's really interesting because you guys I watched your parkour reaction.
Yeah.
And you and Chris are reacting, but at the same time, Nolan is losing money when Chris says a word that he can't say. And so it's like, already I just said something that's multiple narratives that are happening at once that are, there's the visuals of the parkour, which are already really interesting. There's your reaction. Yep. Then there's Nolan losing money.
Exactly. And then the payoff at the end where you're like, well, how much does Nolan make? Exactly. Right. My favorite one is on the Reacts channel. We do this thing where it's the video, start of the video, it's Chris and his grandma. And I go, every time Chris laughs, he loses $500. Right. And then we kick his grandma out of the room. Yeah. And I show him a bunch of TikToks. And then, you watch to see how much his grandma makes.
Is Reacts your most profitable channel?
Most profitable? Well, it depends how you quantify that. In percentage, like expenses to revenue or by total revenue?
Expenses to revenue.
Expenses, then Reacts, because it doesn't cost much. And so anything we make off Reacts, I put in the main channel, which is how we kind of got here, because I got to the point where the main channel would make hypothetically a few $1 million, and I'd spend a few $1 million a month. And I was like, well, how can I get more money to burn? And so then we started gaming. And then gaming started making money, and I'd just take that money and the next month throw it on the main channel. And I was like, oh, this is working well. And then we started Reacts, and now we just take a few $100,000 a month from that, and we just throw it on the main channel. And I'm just like, these things exist just to pump money into the main channel.
So pretty soon, when this place is done, everyone will be in here, and everything will be in here.
Not everything.
Not everything. Okay.
Even this place, like, because we're working on mini videos on the main channel at the same time, we'll be able to cap out at like 2 or 3. And so we'll still have to use our other studios. Once, like I told you before, we're going to build an expansion of this out back and have basically 2 of these. Then we'll potentially be able to do them. Because like if we did World's Hardest Escape Room, I mean, it's probably going to take up all this space behind us. And then, if we did like a Would You Rather style video, would you rather have a Lamborghini or a house? Yeah. And then we built sets that'd probably take up that side. And then if the third video after that's like eating the world's largest slice of pizza, well, this place is full. But at least like even just doing that though is revolutionary for us.
Right.
But who will be here? It will be now like creative, accounting, HR.
Everything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All the people that help me pull off these videos. Yeah, it'll be beautiful.
What's the, workplace culture that you hope to create when everyone's in the same place?
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't even know. I just want to make the best videos possible. A culture that helps get that. And hopefully one day, as we build up other companies and things go well, like we make tons of money, and everyone who helps me get there, I just want to make them rich as hell, to be honest.
Yeah. Is there going to be a basketball court here?
Yeah. Inside, no. Out back, probably.
I mean, there is a hoop.
Like half the boys that are here play basketball. It's funny.
How did you meet Tareq? Because he grew up here, right?
Oh, that's a funny story. Tareq, come on in. Come here. So, here you go.
Tareq,
so this is my cameraman, Tareq. So
Tareq, welcome to the show.
Basically, this is before I had any employees. I was like, I need people to help me with the just do these videos. I just need help. And I don't know why, my like 19-year-old peanut brain, I was like, or maybe I did have like 2 or 3 employees, but I was like, comedians are funny. Like comedians would probably be like, they'd probably be fun to work with. They'd probably be very helpful. Maybe he'll make me funnier. He'll rub off on me. And so I went to a comedy show, and Tareq was doing comedy, and like a bunch of other people were doing comedy there. And all the ones that made me laugh, I just was like writing down a notepad. And then after the comedy show, I just walked backstage, and they were just like, and I just walked up to people and I was like, yo, you're funny. You want a job? And we're like a YouTuber. Yeah, but,
what does this guy know about comedy?
We're in North Carolina, and they're like, okay. And I was like, no, look, I'm a YouTuber. And then I just somehow managed to drag him to my house.
How many subscribers did you have at that time?
Like 1 million?
Yeah.
Yeah, like 1.1 million. Yeah. And so they came over, I filmed a few videos with him and some of the other guys. And then was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I just got a job at the hospital. In 1 month,
Classic
I went to
Tareq.
college for this. I hospital job in a month." And I'm like, "Tareq, be my cameraman. I swear to God, I will this channel will blow up. We'll hit 10 million subscribers. I'll make you rich." And he's like, yeah, and he's like, and he's like, hospital. And so then Tareq left for a year. For him specifically, this is his story. And then a year later, and this now I have quite a few employees for 6-7 million subscribers. Tareq, maybe not that high, maybe like 3 or 4. And Tareq's like, "Yo, I fucking hate working at the hospital." And he's like, "I'm miserable." And I'm like, "Well, you're in luck. I still want you. Get your butt over here." And then he started he'd go to the hospital and then work at night. And I was like, "Yo, I want all your time. Quit." And his family wasn't the keenest on that, but I was like, you'll be fine. And then,
here you are.
Yeah, and he was
here you are.
He was editing in my attic and stuff like that.
The
Back in
old
the day.
attic days. That was the yellow floor studio.
Yeah, at the attic, the yellow floor, because the studio was for filming, and then there's just an attic. And I was like, "All right, we got an editor bay," and we just installed AC. And
so how many years have you been here, Tareq?
Coming up on 3. So
3 years.
Wow. 2.5 years now.
Yeah, could have been 3.5. But,
What's your perspective of the difference between when you first started to being in a space like this?
Oh man, just experience and seeing him grow too. I joined when Jimmy I think was 18 or 17 at the time, so that was cool to just see.
Well,
him.
when I first reached out, I was 19. Because 3 years ago I was 20, so that's when I first started. Yeah.
And just seeing him grow and seeing his motivation stay, that motivated at least me personally to push and.
So many people, when I brought them on back then, they're like, it's like, "We're going to be the biggest YouTube channel ever." I was like, "I don't care. I'll fucking die trying. I'm going to obsess and grind." And they're always like, eventually you'll get burnt out. Eventually he's going to slow down. He can't just grow like this forever. And I was like, no. And so there were a lot of good people back in the day, but it's hard to you bet your entire life and everything on a 19-year-old that honestly is socially
and
awkward.
YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube and a yellow floor stupid warehouse, just making shit up every day. Yeah. But I mean, the only thing that was consistent is I woke up every day and I grinded and I obsessed and I was like, I'm gonna die trying. If we don't make it, I'm gonna try until the day I die.
Just to put this on record, he would tell us we would be the biggest in the world every week. Every single week.
I would pull him in our little room, and I remember, because even Chris, it was hard to get him to quit his job. All these people, they're like, "This is just a YouTube channel. What if we're irrelevant in a year?" This is years ago when I have 1 or 2 million subscribers. I'd always have to pull my few employees in a room and write on a whiteboard. I was like, "Here's what everyone's doing. Here's what we will be doing, okay? We're going to make this money. I'm going to spend it all. I'm going to work. And I'd be I'm just circle and draw things. And I'm concluding that we will have 10 million subscribers by the end of the year. And this is when we're on 2 in January. And everyone's like, "You're dumb." Even I had friends with 3 or 4 million subscribers. And they're like, "You'd be lucky if you even got close to me by the end of the year." And that 1 year we went from 2 million to 10, or actually it was 12 million subscribers. And everyone was just like, and I was drawing 3-year plans. It's this will be here, this will be here, and this will be here, and we killed all of them. But even then, when I showed it to all the boys back then, they were like, "Nah, this is stupid. You're out of your mind. We're not going from 2 to 10 to 30 and whatever." And I'm like, "Nope, this is what we're doing. We're gonna obsess. No one get a life. Grind.
No one get a life.
Here's what we're doing." and then it just happened. It's funny.
I got one more question for Tareq. So you said that you saw him and he was a comedian, and you thought that'd be fun to work with a comedian. Now, Tareq is the one that helped us set up this entire setup, knows more about cameras than most people I've met. How did you know how to use a camera?
Yeah, so I did cameras before I met Jimmy, but then I saw, I told you the story, I saw a video of him just on the road, and I was like, this is in my town. I have to meet this guy. And so, I reached out to him on Twitter, and then, from there, he started coming to the comedy shows, and then, all that kind kind of tied together. So
got it.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was really cool.
I got lucky that I got a comedian that actually had experience. Not one that just had never seen YouTube before. Because I was so dumb back then. I was just like, "Yo, that joke was funny about the dog. You want to get a job? You want to help me figure out how to bury myself alive? Because you're funny."
It does seem like the thing that the X factor in your growth, and it feels like the reason why it can continue is because of the ideas. And
well, it's because I'm obsessed and I'm crazy. Right. I will spend every dollar back into the channel forever. I don't care. I just want to be the biggest.
But it seems like you have a unlimited source of ideas somehow. Every time you put out a new video, even if it's something similar to your other video, it's something new.
Yeah.
How do you keep new ideas coming? Like how are ideas?
So I feel like the ideas have always been great. Even when I was like 17 and like the videos like High Me in 5 years. Like, have you ever seen someone make a time capsule on YouTube? Even to this day, no one's done one. Like, I don't know. Like back then, I feel like they were pretty creative, counting to 100,000. I don't know, it's dumb, but it's still different. And obviously now I have a lot more help, coming with ideas and stuff. But it's just, I like when I was younger. I'm not as hardcore because we got hundreds of ideas now, But when I was younger, like I would train myself like to lucid dream. So like when I was dreaming, like you do this thing where you like stare at your hand like 30 times in a day and you do something, and then like in your dream, if you saw your hand, you'd realize you're dreaming, you could control what you dream about. And I'd like try to like strategically brainstorm ideas while I would sleep, and like I'd wake up in the middle of the night and write down ideas.
Were you successfully able to lucid dream?
Okay, I haven't done that stuff in years. I'm not as hardcore when it comes to that stuff. But yeah, there were some points where I would wake up and I'd have ideas, and it took so long to get.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
Yeah, very hard.
You have to like actually work on that.
I think part of the problem, or not problem, but part of the advantage for me is like all I did was obsess over it during the day. And typically what you think about is what you dream about. So even if I wasn't lucid dreaming, I was just dreaming about videos and filming. Yeah. And then I'd be like, oh, this is cool. And just wake up and write it down. I had a problem, man. I would like only watch things that like inspired me. So I would like try to watch a different show or different things or different genres for inspiration. And I had what I would call like an info diet, and I would always like try to add new things. So I was so obsessed with because really like if I tell you to come up with an idea, you're just gonna whatever. You're gonna be like Gatorade or water or whatever, right?
Well,
but
no one knows what that is.
That may not be Gatorade.
Take the labels off. They made me take the labels off. I thought it was the weirdest thing ever. I roasted him for it. But if we like, I've told you guys this story a million times. But if I open a dictionary here and we just flip to a random page and we pick a word and the word's flowers, right? Then we'll be like, okay, I bought a flower. I gave my girlfriend a flower. I gave my girlfriend 100,000 flowers. I gave my girlfriend 100,000 flowers on Valentine's Day, right? You just go like that. I gave Tareq 100,000 flowers. I put 100,000 flowers in the moon. You do that for a few minutes, and then you just flip to a new page, and you're like, what's this word? And you just like, that's the slowest form of doing it and the worst way to do it. But that's intaking inspiration, getting inspired, and seeing what comes out. And it's really just doing that, and the more effectively you can take in inspiration and see what happens in your brain, the better ideas.
I think what's interesting though is like obviously you call yourself obsessed. Yeah. Other people you said when you were younger called you
Imagine
obsessed.
Spending 10 years of your life only thinking about one thing every waking hour of the day.
You mentioned earlier that people were like, you don't have a life. Yeah. Right. But we've been here. We spent all day with you yesterday. Behind the scenes, I feel like you do have a life. Like your life is YouTube.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
you do have a life. Friends who were hanging out playing basketball yesterday.
Exactly.
Like there's like a lot more happening that people probably don't understand because all they see is what happens within the box.
Exactly. Right. Well, and that was one of the slower days. Like typically it's a lot more extreme than yesterday.
Yeah. Maybe that was an anomaly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Jimmy's cleared the schedule because we were in town. Colin and Samir come to town.
Exactly. We make sure to play basketball. Yeah. It's the thing is like, you're an idiot until you're successful. Then you're smart, whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just, at some point you cross that tipping point and people go from judging you and being like, you're too obsessed, you're a freak, blah, 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 to like, oh, like, whoa, congrats. Look at you. You hire people and provide jobs. Like, you're cool. Good job. You know what I mean? And it's really like kind of blurry where that line changes.
Yeah, that is really interesting. Did you like engage in your typical high school life, I guess, like prom and other stuff like that? None of that stuff.
I was so obsessed. I'm telling you, it is unhealthy how obsessed. There's not a single person on the planet that's been more obsessed that same time span as me because it's physically impossible. Yeah. Almost every hour of the day, that's what I was doing. In math class, in English class, in any class, any time of the day, I was thinking about YouTube nonstop the last 10 years.
One of our first videos about you was during your sub to Pewdiepie campaign. And we were like, oh, MrBeast is kind of like the new Pewdiepie. And we were talking about it this morning, and we were like, that actually couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, the title is MrBeast is the next Pewdiepie. Yeah. And we were like, actually, they are completely different.
Wait, you guys did a video title of that?
Yeah. It wasn't exactly about how you were like PewDiePie. I was just saying you are the next person to reach that.
Interesting. Level. Yeah. I remember the MrBeast, the first YouTube billionaire, and then
there's one before it.
One before it.
Yeah.
We did an interview for you.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
We just made a video.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
Yeah. I mean, it has of the videos we've done with you, it has the least number of views.
Dang it! It didn't get the number one spot.
I think it was the number one spot at that time.
Yeah, it has.
Oh, really? So we got number one on that, and then number one with billionaire, and then number one with losing, and then number one with this. we're on a streak.
We're on a streak. So yeah, we did that video, but then we were thinking like, wait, that is really far from the truth because like PewDiePie is a completely different type of creator. He's I mean, I think he still creates in a really similar way to when he first started out, right? Yeah. And you keep evolving and changing the way that you're creating.
Yeah. Just different people, different aspirations. Sure. At the end of the day, like with him, what's admirable is like 90% of creators, like if they had that #1 spot in that long, they would have been such egotistical pricks. They like would have changed, and you know he never wears designer clothes or flexes on people or looks down on people. You know, a lot of his friends or the people he has in his videos aren't like super clouded out. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing that I would take away with him. Like it's really respectable that like he really didn't change much. You know?
Yeah.
Obviously, you know more about YouTube than anyone, and you've been following it for a really long time.
Yeah.
When boxing came about, was that unexpected for you?
Well, the thing with boxing is it's literally two people putting everything on the line, right? You get knocked out, you're a meme. You know what I mean? Like you're risking your reputation, your dignity, all that. So like it kind of is the perfect thing to like be a big spectacle and cause the world to stop. Because if you get two titans or two big, you know, names that a lot of people know of, and they're both like, hey, we're willing to risk it all. One of us is walking away with a fat L on our face, you know, like. Of course, like it's the perfect formula to be a big spectacle.
Are you as captivated as everyone else by it?
Oh, I love it. It's fun to watch. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, I don't put a ton of thought into it, but when they happen, invite the boys over, get some popcorn, enjoy some dudes getting punched. I feel like it's fun.
I've bought every fight. I find it to be so entertaining. Yeah.
You know, I know you started when you came up with ideas, you'd look at a dictionary and find a word.
Yep.
You have people just throw things at you, and then you try and come up with new ideas.
Exactly.
When boxing obviously was taking place on YouTube, did it throw a wrench in your head at all of like, oh, well, maybe since that's the ultimate spectacle, maybe if I combine it with something else and do this? Or
yeah, the only problem with those is it's like so much time. I got so much going on, so many employees, so much that depends on this channel. Like I just can't spend 6 months just, you know, training 3 times a day or 2 times a day. So, I mean, tons of ideas popped in my head, but are they ever going to happen? No, because obviously I got too many people that depend on me. I've had people ask me to box. I'm like, bro, like if I just spend the next 6 months training, like people lose their job. Like I don't care to do that.
Do you think there's another sport that has that much tension in it that YouTubers could do?
Yeah, I mean every sport. Simon did with the soccer. Well, minus baseball. I think baseball there's too much delay between action that will never pop. But basketball would be phenomenal. Soccer, boxing, I think will always be at the top because it's just like it's two people putting everything on the line. I don't think it gets much better than that, to be honest.
Yeah, it really doesn't. And I just feel like the tension that when you put two unexpected people together, like I thought that the Social Gloves event was the most interesting out of all of them.
Yeah, but you know what's fascinating is I talk to other people who aren't as like into social media as we are, and they're just like, who are these people? I don't care.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess you
have to care about the people.
You have to know who the people
are. We're just so entertained by TikTok and YouTube that we know all these smaller people. Or not know all of them, but you know, you've kind of heard of them. But
and you're just like, wait, what's gonna? I mean, okay, so let's go to Logan Floyd. It's just like, what the hell's gonna happen? This guy's bigger than that guy, but that guy's more experienced than this guy. So
that's a good one.
The questions are just so.
But all the boxers on the undercard, like you weren't glued to the screen. You didn't.
No, I didn't. Care.
Exactly, and exactly how you felt on those is how everyone felt on the Social Club one. That aren't like super into social media. They're just if you don't know and you've never heard of them, it's like, why do I care?
Yeah, that's
why not just watch professional boxers, you know?
Mm-hmm. Do you do that a lot where I feel like you do it sometimes in your videos where you build some of the backstory of the person before they win?
A little bit. That's one of the critiques I get that I could do better. Yeah. It's so hard to like get people attached to someone while also like keeping retention and keeping the tension and stuff like that. That's one thing I got to learn a lot on. It's like how to let someone tell their backstory in a way where I don't lose viewers.
I do feel like that's something that TV does really well. They tell backstory.
But that also, to me, 90% of the time is boring.
Right. But if there's a way to do it in a condensed fashion where then the viewer all of a sudden cares about this person and if they win or lose, then it creates a whole different, you know?
Yeah, even then, like, take any TV show that does that, upload it to YouTube. Let's see their retention graph. I bet it's piss poor. You know what I mean? Just to be honest.
So what entertains MrBeast? Like, what else are you entertained by?
Oh, boy. That's definitely changed over the years. I mean, I watch a ton of anime. I love anime. It's like, it's so creative and different, and I feel like that inspires me. So #1's anime, and then #2 is like, I just try to watch a bunch of different stuff, so I'm just always learning, because you know, you can never learn enough. And like, there could be just one simple thing you learn through watching like an educational video that just like changes how you think and like allows you to just make better decisions for the rest of your life.
What was the first video you filmed in here?
That I don't know. I don't know when you're gonna upload.
When does that one come out?
Probably a while, because there was. I'll tell you this: there's 50 cameras to use, and there's 100 people. We'll put it there. When you see that video, you'll know.
You'll know.
And could that video have been shot in one of your other spaces, or
no? This place has like 8 different AC units because it gets like so hot, and so this is the only building we can keep cool. And it rained 3 different times when we're filming. And here we got like padded roofs and specially designed to cancel out the rain noise. But all our other places, you just hear like the whole time, and you can't film during that. And just everything about this place was perfect for like a long 10-day shoot.
So you started investing into like, you got that space with the yellow floor, and then you got.
Well, I started with an office,
right? The office
bigger
building,
office, then yellow floor space. Yeah.
So was the first space was the office building we saw with
no, it was
your
smaller
mom?
than
Oh,
that.
it was smaller than that.
It was the one she said was 2 buildings over.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had office building and that studio, and the next studio, and the next studio, and the next studio. And now, you have all these different studios. Like what, this investment is really significant.
Yeah. I think I walked into a spider web walking in here, and I
don't
think I got it. Sorry. You're like, this investment's big. I'm like, I got a spider web.
That's a good moment for retention.
Right. Yeah, that is good. This is a really significant investment. And then additionally, when we sat with your mom and looked at your financials, every video is a really significant investment. I don't think, I said this to you when we got out of there. I was like, I don't think there's no way there's someone else spending that kind of money on YouTube videos, right?
No.
There can't be.
No, I would be best friends with them if they were. I'd be like, yo, teach me.
I think from you spending the most to even the next person, it's probably a pretty serious gap.
Well, and on top of that, with how frequently we're uploading too. I mean, most videos are over probably like $500,000 at this point.
So does your mom have the same, because she kind of looks over that part of the business, like does she have the same relationship to money that you have of like, hey, let's just reinvest everything?
She's just gotten to the point where she like just accepts it. Like, I mean, we've ran out of money many times and had to get a loan to keep going or whatever, but she just knows I'm not going to stop. So years ago, she just gave that up.
She just gave it up.
He's well, and obviously now that we're this big, like there's not as much to worry about, but yeah, I mean, like I would make $50,000 a month, and then I'd film a $50,000 video that would end up costing $60,000, and we're $10,000 negative, and then she'll be like, okay, once we make this back and we're in green, like let's put some money aside. I'm like, nah, let's keep going. We made $60,000 this month. It's on an uptrend, and just keep going.
One thing that was really interesting is we talked about that video. She literally printed out the financial statements for certain videos, and one of the videos was where you were giving away houses, and that obviously cost over
we spent just shy of $1 million.
Just shy of $1 million, and you told us how much that video made on AdSense. How much did that video make on AdSense?
Not $1 million. Way less than $500,000. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So less than $500,000 on something that cost $1 million.
And then there's a brand deal on it, but even then, after everything's said and done, because that's not including the cost of the people to produce it and stuff like that. So it's closer to like $1.3 million to do the video. We're definitely not going to make over $1 million on that video. So
how does this investment of $10 million plus, how does it become profitable?
I don't know. I just want to make the best videos possible. I'm not a businessman. I'm a creator. I want to make the best videos possible. This helps. And I believe as long as we're doing everything in our power to make the best videos possible, people will watch them. And I don't know. I'm a lunatic. I think it'll work out.
It's a lot of faith in YouTube.
Oh, ton of faith. But I've been doing it for 10 years now. I'm not losing faith now. I think YouTube's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It comes installed on every Android device, which is like 85% of all operating systems, and 90% of searches in the West are on Google, which YouTube pops up on. I think, like I've told you guys multiple times, gaming viewership in the last 2 years has doubled. Like you can throw up the tweet, the reports, like that's factual. In the last 2 years. And 2 years ago, gaming was freaking huge, and it's doubled. I think YouTube in 10 years is going to be bigger than we all imagine. I have no freaking doubt in my mind.
So you're expanding digitally now across the world, and you're also expanding physically with MrBeast Burger.
Dude, it's so funny because we got so much stuff going on. I'm like, that's kind of everything. Yeah. And they're like, that's right. We have MrBeast Burger.
I was sitting here earlier before we started recording, and I got a notification on my watch that was like, hey, here's a promo for Beast Burger.
Was it at 4 p.m.?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's when we sent out the notifications today. Because it's the perfect time where if you're ordering lunch around like 5 or 6, like it's a reminder.
But I was just like,
dinner. Sorry.
Did you say ordering? Oh, okay. I was about to say. Did you say ordering? I was like, dinner. What time do you eat lunch?
Yeah. So like the conversion's best if we send out at 4. And it's also like if I tweet about it or do a post, like at the start, I'm an idiot. I don't know. I never ran a restaurant. Like sometimes I would do like a swipe up at like 10 p.m. for Beast Burger.
Right.
And most of the restaurants are closed.
Right.
And then one day I was like, man, these swipe ups aren't really doing much. And then I realized I'm doing it when all our restaurants are closed. And I started doing it at like 4 p.m. and I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot.
Beast Burger, obviously that's everywhere in the U.S.
Yep, over 1,000 locations.
Over 1,000 locations. The fries are amazing.
Every time I talk to him,
I love the fries.
Like, did you know your fries are amazing? I'm like, yes.
Fries are really good.
I get it. The fries are good.
The fries are really good. Talk to me about, when does Beast Burger become a physical place I can walk into?
Well, that's what we were talking about before the podcast. We're working on breaking ground in our first place, our first physical restaurant. I won't spoil where.
Okay.
But yeah, we got the first one in progress, and eventually I want to scale up and do other ones. I got some fun. I don't know if it's possible. Like, I'm going to say stuff. It might not be doable. So if this isn't what ends up happening, like, it's not on me. I'm going to push the boundaries. But I would love to. Well, it's also different because the COVID world. But you know how like McDonald's used to always have the slides behind it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want those back. I want to put those at Beast Burger locations. I want to. And now the other stuff I'm not going to say because if I don't do it, then people are going to be like, you said you would do this. But I have a bunch of ideas to like modernize the restaurant. But maybe there's a reason restaurants don't do it. So we'll see as we're designing the first one currently.
Have you thought about how you keep customers coming back? Like, is there a retention strategy?
At the restaurant?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it's just the food's amazing. You know what I mean? And I mean, everything. Whoever, obviously, at the end of the day, I'm waking up and I'm obsessing over how to make the best YouTube videos possible. So as we build out the Beast Burger team, like whoever it is, like, yeah, I don't want people to have to wait in a line at a fast food. I don't want to, like, whatever other people are doing, I don't care. I want to be a modern restaurant that just it's on everyone somehow. I don't know how. I don't care. I don't care if it makes money. Just I want the best experience possible.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool. Because do you think about those as like sets for your...
No, I mean, like, about that? I think it's just an independent business. Like, it's, I mean, Beast Burger has kind of a good ring to it, like Five Guys. Like,
yeah.
If Five Guys didn't exist, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna go start a company named Five Guys. You'd be like, I mean, that's not that crazy of a name. Like, I like the name Beast Burger. I think the menu is phenomenal. Like, I think it has a chance, like, independent of me, just to grow. You know what I mean? Like, if Five Guys can be successful, like, why can't Beast Burger? You know what I mean? Especially if we're obsessed, innovating, and adapting, and just reinvesting everything. Just literally what I did on YouTube, I want to do at the restaurant. Like, it makes money, it's profitable, and I'm just like, yeah, just keep it. Like, grow. Like, don't give me the money, you know? So
keep growing, eventually take the money, put it into the main channel.
With that one, I just wanted to keep just reinvesting and just growing and go build another restaurant, go do whatever, you know?
Which business outside of the main channel and YouTube are you most excited about that you're involved in?
None. I mean, at the end of the day, I would give it all up for the main channel. I just want to be the biggest YouTuber I can possibly be and make the best videos possible. That you got to have laser-like focus. If you lose focus and you get too scatterbrained, then you just like, that's how you just fall off. Or like we see a lot of creators, they start doing too many things and then like their content fades and what got them where they isn't there anymore. And when the channel dies, so do all those businesses and stuff like that. Like laser-like focus. I just want to be the best YouTuber I can.
Why do you want to be the best YouTuber?
I don't fucking know. You don't know. I just, ever since I was 13, I just made the decision I was going to be a YouTuber. I was going to die trying. Sounds different hearing me say it now, but I had that type of like devotion when I was younger. Like, even when people would tell me it's crazy, no odds in my favor, with no equipment, no nothing, no social skills, no editing, no camera, no one to teach me, no one to help me. I was just like, I don't care. I'm going to figure it out or I'm going to die trying. And I like, even in high school, like, you know, when I'm 17 and not making any money, well, I'm making money off of YouTube, like $100 a month, but nothing crazy. And I have horrible grades. And like, you know, people are like, okay, well, what are you going to do after high school? And I'm like, I'm going to be a YouTuber. And they'd be like, how? And I'd be like, I don't know, but I'm going to make it happen. It's like, I feel like it was programmed in me. That sounds weird, but I just feel like I just have DNA that just was like, you're going to be a YouTuber. Like, not in a sense I was destined to make it, but that like, that's just how my brain has been. Like, I'm going to be a YouTuber or I'm going to be 80 with 1,000 subscribers. Like, there's no world where I wasn't a YouTuber in my future. Like, that was it. People thought it was crazy. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me either. I was just like, I'm going to be a YouTuber. And people would be like, how? And I'd be like, I don't know, but I'm going to be one. I'm just going to figure it out. I don't care. Like, if I never made it, you know, and I only had 5,000 subscribers, I would probably be working at McDonald's, still just grinding YouTube every hour I'm not working and like just going hard as fuck until I became a YouTuber.
Do you ever entertain the possibility that one day you won't care about being the biggest YouTuber?
I guess that's not my main focus. But the main goal, as it should be, is to make the best videos possible. Because if you're making the best videos possible, you'll get all the things you want. Like, if I want to go Beast Burger, we'll make the best videos possible. If I want to be the biggest YouTuber, make the best videos possible. So that is what I guess I might have misspoke earlier. That is what the laser focus should be, making the best video possible. And 99% of what a creator wants will happen if you do that. And I mean, I'm going on 10 years, and I love it more than anything. You took my channel away from me, I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, one thing I think I've learned about you just spending time with you here is that you love strategy.
I do.
You love strategy. Yeah. Like, first of all, we went into Jimmy's kitchen and there's so many versions of Catan in there. And I
like Catan more than Monopoly, because Monopoly, which I was telling you guys, is like very dice and luck based, but Catan is so strategic and like data and stuff like that.
Also, if you ever play poker with Jimmy, he's got a lot of strategy.
I love it.
Yeah, he's got a lot of strategy in his facial expressions.
Strategy. Yeah, that I think Jimmy was like, you really need to be having strategy. Like you shouldn't have done what you just did.
I was like 3 times in a row, like every time like the flop would happen and he'd just fold. I'd be like, at least act like you have a good hand.
He was like helping me have a better game against him.
What does MrBeast do for fun?
I don't.
If you're not making videos.
I mean, in a perfect world, I'd love to go hang out with Elon Musk or stuff like that. But obviously, that's not possible. It's like there's levels. Like if I had like the perfect friend group, I'd go hang out with other entrepreneurs. I'd go hang out with people and just like if right next door there's another YouTuber, I'd just walk over there and be like, "Yo, teach me something." That at the end of the day is what I love the most. But whatever, anime or stuff, I try to just work as much as I can because I don't know, I just enjoy it, you know.
Yeah. Is your dream that more creators come here?
Yeah, I mean, even just being friends with them. Like, I call you like at least once a week pretty religiously. You know, I have a rotation of that, but I'd love to like revamp the list of people I call every week. Like, I always just call people listening and just like be like, yo, teach me something. That's how you stay on your A game and you're always learning. And I don't know, I feel like it's just run dry. Like, you know, I haven't met like a new YouTuber in like months that I'm like, wow, like this guy's a genius. And I'm not saying there's not one. I'm just saying I haven't found that person. Like I'm actively like right now, like I would hire someone to just give like and pay serious money for someone just to give me a list of like up and coming YouTubers that I could like talk to on a weekly basis and just learn from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know, it used to be so abundant before, but you know, and I've talked to probably 500 YouTubers at this point. So I've like squeezed the list dry, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love more than anything just to talk to other smart YouTubers and learn from them.
Do you have any theories as to why that is, that it's run dry?
I don't know. I mean, YouTube's bigger than ever. More creators are coming up than ever. So I don't know why. I mean, like, you know, obviously you got A-Rock and Tyler Oliveira on, they come up, and I'm sure there are tons of other people. I don't know why I'm struggling to find them. I mean, there's probably so many people that went from like, whatever, 100,000 subscribers to over 1 million in the last year. Probably 10,000 plus, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Where's the master list? You know what I mean? Someone give it to me, you know? Yeah. Oh, but the hard thing is probably like 90% of them do it as a hobby, which there's nothing wrong with that, but they're not like laser focused, intense, you know what I mean? Not like probably 99% of them, you know what I mean? Like I need a list of that 100 that are like living and breathing it and obsessed, you know?
What do you think that like the archetype is of someone who comes and either works with you or works for you here? Like what type of person are you looking for?
I mean, the biggest thing is you got to be interested in the YouTube space. Like even if you're like the best logistics person in the world, like if you don't love YouTube, you're not, you know, you're not interested in learning about it, you're probably not going to have too much success because everything we do is from the standpoint of making the videos as good as possible. So if you're not obsessed about that, it doesn't matter if you can figure out how to get a truck on Mars, you know what I mean? If you get it there and it's not positioned the right way or it doesn't have certain things inside of it that makes good content or whatever's best for content, then it doesn't really do much for us, you know what I mean?
And if someone wants to, like let's say someone doesn't want to be a YouTuber, but they'd love to work for a YouTuber, like how do you learn to do that? How do you study that? That's
a hard thing. That, I mean, for people we're interested in, I mean, we just bring them down and just have them shadow us, follow our people, and we just dump our brain in them. But for people that don't have that opportunity, I mean, just study YouTube, watch a ton of YouTube. I mean, like people trash on internships, and we don't really do them, but if I wanted to learn how to be a YouTuber, I would just find an internship with a smart YouTuber and just be like, yo, you don't even have to pay me. I'll work my butt off. Just let me learn. You know what I mean? I'd just be like, just let me do this until I feel like I've learned enough. And like you would learn so much from people doing that. You know
I actually think though that one thing that you can do, because like you said, everything relates back to the video. A lot of what you're talking about relates back to retention actually, and like how to make someone.
What's the point of making a video if people don't watch it?
Exactly. So I feel like one strategy of studying, when you say study YouTube, is taking a YouTube video, whether it's yours or another really popular video, right? We were talking about Vox yesterday, because that's the closest thing to what we're trying to do, right? Is Vox. And so I think one strategy is to take that video and actually take a notepad out and just write what's happening in the video.
Exactly.
Literally write down like the first 30 seconds, what is happening? And that's what I did with your FBI video, because I was like, okay, let me just understand, what was Jimmy talking about? What's happening in this video? And then when you write it down, you're like, wait a second, 40 seconds has gone by. This many scene changes have happened.
How many was it? Like a dozen?
It was at over 12.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was over 12 scene changes. There was introduction of new information at each maybe 6 seconds. And you had added in a twist by 40 seconds where the telephone pole
and the
falls.
entire time there's tension of him chasing me. Yep.
Exactly. Yep. So, and the scene changes actually, the first scene change where it's like a drone shot of you sprinting out happens in like probably 4 seconds. Right? And so then I was like, wait a second. Okay, so we aren't going to do that exact thing. We don't make videos like that. But we have to, in that amount of time, have that much happen.
Exactly.
So how do we do that? And that, I think, just, again, you've called me for a year. Everyone knows this. You call me once a week for a year, but coming here
every time dumpster on his videos, which as weird as it sounds, that's usually what it takes. Like I coached the guy from the guy who's been doing YouTube for like 6 or 7 years, and like he was like making like whatever, like $20,000 a month. And I coached him up to the point where he's making like 250 grand a month. And like, but it was like similar story to you, like a constant year of me just beating his head in and be like, no, you dingus, do this. And he'd be like, no, like, here's why I do this. He'd be like, that's wrong. But whatever. There comes a point where you can't force someone to do it. So you just back up and then eventually, usually people like come around to it and they try it. And then they try a few things.
It's also easy to convince yourself that like you don't make the type of content that could get that many views, right? But
you guys should be getting, in a perfect world, like 4 or 5 million views a video. Like you should. Right. Like you guys are smart enough. Like if it's not, then it just wasn't a good enough video, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Even the videos we did that are your most viewed videos could be way better.
Right. What do you think gets us to 1 million subscribers?
Well, subscribers is an arbitrary number.
So that doesn't matter. Million views a video.
No, you should ask me what helps us make the best videos possible. That's the only question you should ask me. Subscribers don't matter. Views don't matter. I mean, they do, but all that comes. Everything you want as a creator comes from making the best videos possible and thumbnails. But it's easier to make thumbnails. The video part's the hard part, and that's the thing that you're known for. No one's known for no one's like the biggest YouTuber in the world because they have the best thumbnails, right? It's also because they have great, phenomenal content. You know what I mean? Like that's the hard part that very few people do well, and that's what people remember. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna have some random dude when you're walking down the street of Paris go like, yo, that's the guy with the great thumbnails. You know, they're gonna be like, no, that's the guy with the phenomenal videos that whatever, held his breath for 40 minutes underwater or things like that. So that's a tip for you guys, but also you guys watching. Ask, how can I make my videos better? Do that every single day for years, and then you'll probably get views.
I feel a lot like if we put out a video and we're frantically changing thumbnails afterwards, we're already way too far gone. Like, I mean, not that it doesn't help to change your packaging, but I know when we have a really good video.
Exactly.
Like I know it's really good, and that the title and the thumbnail.
If you upload a video and you're not like you're not like, this is a banger, this is gonna bang, no doubt in my mind, even though you're gonna be wrong 90% of the time, then it's not a good enough video.
You still have to have that feeling, even if
you should have spent more time thinking
let the
on
audience tell you you're wrong. Don't put it out when you already know you're wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
How do you know when you're wrong? How do you know? Because you have some videos you haven't uploaded.
Well, if it's 10 out of 10, and it did worse than your other 9 videos, and it's like, okay.
But you have videos you don't even upload sometimes.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, like, it's a lot harder for us because, like, what we're doing are big productions over the span of months. Things get distorted. I visualized a giant mountain of money and this, and someone scooping it up in a tractor, and then you do it, and it's not as epic. You're like, oh, this is kind of lame. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just, I just watch it, honestly, and I just, like, if there's ever a moment where I'm even slightly bored, I'm like, cut it. And if there's something where I'm not just like, wow, like the whole time, then it's like, don't upload it. It's not good.
And does it weigh on you at all that you're like, man, but
I've probably
we invested
over 100 videos in my life, like completely filmed. I've spent probably, I don't even want to pull a number on it, but ungodly amounts of money on videos of my life that don't get uploaded. I don't give a best video possible or get it out of my face. I don't care.
What's the last video you didn't upload?
Well, it might. This one is kind of on the fence. We're re-editing it, but if you never see it, then we did a video where we built like 10 sets, and I built like 10 replicas of banks, and it was rob this bank, I'll give you $100,000. And then so like bank vault number 1, the boys had to break into the bank, and whoever broke into the bank first got what was inside, and the vault's empty. And I'm like, so this vault's empty, and some of the other vaults are empty, but one of these vaults, when you open it, will get $100,000. And so they had to break in. So there's like, they had to break into a bunch of banks, and all of them were empty. And then after like 9 ones, the 10th one, which they're like, none of these banks have the money in, they finally break in. I don't want to spoil it, but one of the boys broke in, and then they open it, and there's $100,000 in cash. It's like, congratulations, you robbed the correct bank. And it was cool, but the sets were a little bland, and the bits weren't as funny. And I didn't think it was as good as it could be. But hopefully, we're like on our 12th edit. Hopefully this one maybe fixes some of the problems I'm having.
What's the hardest video you've ever made, whether it came out on the channel or not?
Oh boy. Well, let's see. Oh God, Tareq, you have any inspiration to throw at me? Yeah, I mean, Team Trees was, I enjoyed it, but that was a ton, man. I mean, me and Mark Rober worked on that for like 8 months leading up to it. I don't want to overexaggerate. Maybe it was 7 or 6. And I was like, it started with me wanting to plant 1 million trees. And I was reaching out to all these YouTubers that, do environmental stuff. And the gist was just like, you're crazy. You're like, this just isn't possible. You just can't plant 1 million trees. They're like, it takes like hours to plant like 100. And they're like, what are you thinking? And then I'm like, yo, Mark, can you build me something to plant trees? And like, so me and Mark are like scheming how to plant 1 million trees. And then I was closing in on 20 million subscribers. And I did like this thing where I gave my 3 million subscriber pennies, 4 million subscriber like popcorn, 5 million, blah, blah, blah. And someone on Reddit was like, you should give your 20 million subscriber, or for 20 million subscribers, you should plant 20 million trees. I was like, Mark, I know 1 million's impossible, but get this. Let's plant 20 million trees to celebrate me hitting 20 million subscribers. And he's like, you're a fucking idiot. And I was like, let's do it. And then we're like, as we ran down the rabbit hole, we're like, there's no world where we're doing this. And then we're like, well, what if we gather all our fans and we do like different events and plant them? And then we're like, nope, that would still only plant like 100,000. Like that won't work. And then we were like, okay, well, what if we pay people to do it? And then, or what if we do seed drives? What if we have our fans buy seeds? We sell seeds at cost. They plant it in their yard, and then we do research for a month. And we're like, it could be an invasive species. It could do more harm than good. I don't know if I trust 14-year-old Billy to understand whether or not they can plant that next to a pine tree. So then we're like, dude, and we're going on for months on months. We're just figuring out how the hell do we plant 20 million trees? Every week we're having calls. And then we I don't remember how, but we got connected with the Arbor Day Foundation. They've planted like, I don't know the exact number, but I know it's over 100 million trees. They're experts. Like this is what they do. And they're just like, yeah, we can plant a tree. They told us their cost, and we were like, can you get it down to $1? And they're like, yeah, at scale we could plant a tree for $1. And I was like, boom, there you go. And me and Mark were like, okay, all we need is $20 million, and they can plant the 20 million trees for my 20 million subscriber special. I'm already past 20 million subscribers at this point, but I'm like, fuck it. We're in too deep. And then now it's like, okay, how do we get $20 million so we can plant 20 million trees? And then we just started figuring out slogans. Like, there's so much stuff that never even made the internet, like trick shot for trees. We were going to try to make a viral TikTok trend and get it where like you did a trick shot, and if you missed, you had to donate $10 to plant 10 trees, and then you had to challenge someone else, like ripping off ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. And so we're developing this for like a month, and then we're like literally like testing it, and then like I'm shooting a trick shot, donating trees, I'm challenging people like in these fake videos, and we're like roasting them. We're like, nah, this isn't gonna go viral. Like no one cares, right? And we're just workshopping all this, and then I don't know how we landed on it, but then we're just like, you know what? We're just gonna get our audience to donate, and we're just gonna get every YouTuber we know to make videos on it, and we're gonna just magically pray we don't only raise $500,000 and look like the biggest idiots on the planet. And so we somehow got a list. It wasn't from YouTube. It was like some company that does a lot of YouTube data. They sell to like media companies, and they just gave us a list of like all the biggest YouTubers, like on an Excel sheet. And me and Mark just like, it took forever, man. We're just going down the list, and I'd be like, do they follow you on Twitter? No. Do they follow me on Twitter? No. Do they follow? And we'd check our Instagram. We'd find some way to reach out to that creator or someone who follows us that follows them. We'd be like, hey, get us in contact. And we'd be like, hey, doing this thing, make a video about trees, tell your fans every dollar they donate, boom. And we went down this list, DM'd over 1,000 of the biggest creators, got hundreds of them to make videos on it. They all launched at the same time as our videos. And the first day we raised millions of dollars and we crushed our $20 million goal.
The quote of the night is, all we needed was $20 million. But that campaign
like,
was
that
awesome.
wasn't the problem.
Yeah, that wasn't the problem.
It's wild, man. There's so many, like, literally, it was 6 months of me just being, and Mark more so than me. Yeah. I'm of the kind of like, okay, let's do it nature. But Mark's like, every other day we'd have mental breakdowns. We're like, we're not going to raise $20 million. What are we, crazy? Like, we should do $2 million. And I'd just be like, nah, let's do $20 million. I hit 20 million subscribers. Mark, it's a funny story. And then I would convince him, I'd be like, and also it's $20 million by 2020. See, it's a good slogan. And he's like, oh, well, if you put it that way, I guess we'll just keep the unrealistic goal.
I mean, that was a big success, though. That was
huge.
That was a huge success.
It is the biggest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally, not all 20 million have been planted. I think like 13, somewhere in there has been planted. I think all 20 million will be planted by the end of next year. And yeah.
I think that's a really good example of, like, you make the best videos possible and then you can do anything. Like, you can do such interesting things. Like, if you want to plant 20 million trees, you could do that if you're making good videos.
Yeah, but like, and the thing is, like, 99% of people, even if you had that idea, like, I mean, that was so much time, man. So much time and so many, like, it started with 1 million and it's like half a year of just nonstop obsession and grinding and reaching out and learning and trick shot for trees and this and that, all just culminating to that final end point. And like 99% of people would have gave up. Like, they would have gone, I want to plant 1 million trees, and someone would have gone, you can only plant 100. And they would have been like, oh, well, guess I can't do it. You know what I mean?
Do you think attention is the most valuable currency in the world?
Well, of course. I mean, if you could post something and everyone in the world would watch it, you'd be the most powerful man on earth. So, of course.
Simple question.
Yeah.
I was just curious if you had that opinion.
I did.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the same opinion. That's where that conversation ends. So what you did with Mark was really successful. Do you have plans to do something different with him?
So this year, it's a few days after the 2-year anniversary of Team Trees, we're launching Team Seas. I don't want to give away too many spoilers. You know, $1 might get something out of the ocean. We'll reveal it then. But if you are a creator, which I know you guys have a lot of creators that watch you, hit me up or Mark Rover. Team Seas is happening this year. We're gonna try to raise more than $20 million, which is terrifying. I need your help. I'm sick to my stomach thinking about it.
You're gonna raise $1 for every grain of sand on the beach. Yes.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Team Trees was definitely the biggest reaction that I remember.
Yeah,
of like
for
just
sure.
global headlines.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Elon Musk donated $1 million. So we had this leaderboard. The more you donated, the higher up you got. So like it would like get like a ego match for people, and like so like someone would donate 100 grand and be number one, and someone donated 101, and then someone donated 200, and Elon Musk donated $1 million to be number one, which I thought was cool. And then Toby from Shopify, which I love, shout out to you, you're like super cool, donated like $1,001. So he took the spot from Elon and just sat up there, and I thought that was funny.
That's so good.
Toby, if you're watching this, when Team Seas happens, DM me, that'll be fun.
We expect over $1 million.
We expect 1 million and two. No, I'm kidding. Even if you don't donate, it'd just be cool to get your thoughts on it.
But over $1 million and two would be nice.
Is that what we're doing? Just peer pressuring billionaires? Every billionaire. We write if you don't donate.
I'm curious just if you, in terms of YouTube, like I'm really curious your perspective on the vlogging format, like creators like Emma Chamberlain.
Okay.
Like, how do you think that plays into the concept of like her viewership is really significant. And sometimes she's just like at her house making coffee and making a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Sure.
Like, how do you think she captures that much attention?
Well, I mean, it is entertaining. Like, she's a naturally funny person, and like that is a skill. Being, I couldn't do that. Or if I did, like it wouldn't be so off the cuff. Like she's just a naturally witty and funny person. Like Chris in my videos, one of the wittiest people I've ever met in my life. Like you could just drop this Gatorade bottle and he'd say something that would just make you laugh like crazy. And it's like, where did that come from?
Right.
But at the same time, you're limited by your personality. Like she's doing well. She's top 1% of creators, but I mean, how many views a month? Like 40 or something. Like it's great. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it's like she's tied down to her personality. If you don't like Emma, then you're not going to watch her videos. You know what I mean? And so there's only so big that can take you. And even if you do get super big, it's like literally just all on your shoulders. It's a lot of weight and a lot of pressure. So
that is a lot of pressure because the product of the video is your personality.
Well, yeah, because if you're depressed or you're going through stuff, you know, it's harder to make videos. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, you know, a lot of people just enjoy making that type of content. So
that's true.
I asked you yesterday, do you need to be in a good mood to film a video? And you kind of said, you said like, I don't really have a choice because if I don't, then I just burned $500,000.
Yeah, on some videos. Yeah.
But also your format lends itself that you don't always have to be in a good mood because like it's the story work that went in beforehand that ensures the reaction. Whereas like for Emma, she probably does need to be in a good mood.
Exactly.
Like she does have to be in a good place for her personality. It's like two drastically different creators.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's almost like, do you try and take out a lot of those variables when you're planning a video?
I don't know. I just do whatever I think will make the best video possible. I mean, I hate to always fall back on it, but that's the driver. It's just whatever I think will make the best video possible. Like if I thought telling people more about myself or being more personal would make the video better, I would do it. But I think most people, like for the most part, like they want to see me run for an FBI agent. They don't want to hear me go, oh, also guys, tomorrow's my mom's birthday. You know what I mean? Like they're there to see me run from an FBI agent. You know what I mean? So,
but we did tweet about the Call Her Daddy's podcast.
Yeah.
You replied to that tweet and you said, I'm starting a podcast. And there was a lot of people who were excited about that.
People were like, people took it as a real headline.
Yeah. There were some people
who were press outlets that said MrBeast is
announces podcast. Yeah.
I mean, the only reason I would do a podcast is to make money to be able to do bigger YouTube videos. So if I thought that I could make enough or make a difference and I'd be able to elevate my content, 100% I'd do it. It's just like that. Study big YouTubers. It happens time and time and time again. They get big, they start side projects, they lose focus, their channel falls off, and then all that stuff fades away with it. You know what I mean? You gotta be focused. At the end of the day, that's what matters. Main channel, MrBeast, and all this other stuff supports it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right now, when you download the YouTube app, your picture is on there.
Yeah.
Like you
on the Google Play Store. I don't know about Apple Store. Yeah.
So on the Google Play Store, when you download YouTube, your picture is on there.
Yeah.
How much do you interact with YouTube? Do you give them advice on YouTube?
Not really.
Not really.
No.
Do they reach out to you at all?
I mean, at the end of the day, like, what am I going to tell their army of 100 people or 1,000 people that work on this part of the thing that like, my 5-second thought of opinion's better than their analysis. You know what I mean? No, I think they do a good job. I think they take responsibility, and it's crazy that if you have 100 subscribers, you have 5 subscribers. If you upload a good enough video, it will get views. Like if you're not, you're just, I don't want to make such a definitive thing. Take this with a grain of salt. Majority of the time, you're just not making a good enough video if it's not getting views. You know what I mean? If that's your goal to get views. Obviously, if your goal is not to get views, then who cares? You know what I mean? But you can get 1 million views on a video even if you have 100 subscribers, if the video is good enough. You can. Promise. I've seen it happen a bunch.
So next to YouTube, right under it, is there a platform that you like the most next to YouTube?
No, I mean, no. I like them, but it's YouTube. YouTube is what I live and breathe. Take them all away. I don't care. I just want YouTube. YouTube's the future, in my opinion, of television. It's the biggest. It's not going anywhere. It's the most dominant, and I love YouTube more than anything.
Why do you think it's so dominant? Like, what makes YouTube?
I told you, like Android. It comes on Android phones. Yeah. Google, and it has such a deep catalog, and there's so many people on it. Has the best monetization program. Like, YouTube's paid creators more than any other platform in history. Probably more than the other platforms combined. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just, I love it. I love it so much. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I think the algorithm also promotes better storytelling. Like the barrier to entry of the title and the thumbnail. Mm-hmm. If you actually back up that title and thumbnail, it requires that you told a compelling story.
Agreed.
Right? And then when it comes down to retention, if you actually keep someone from 0 to 15 minutes, you've done a good job of telling a story.
My problem when I load up YouTube on my TV is that there's too many videos I want to watch. It's gotten too good at recommending me videos that I see like 4 on the top row and like the top half of like another 4, and I'm just like, I want to watch all these. what do I do?
What type of videos are those? Like, what are you watching?
Like, it'll probably be like how U.S. aircraft carrier gets food and or delivers mail. Air flight patterns of planes, and then this one will be like how this random guy on Reddit turned $1,000 into $1 million, and stuff like that. And then there's like the random like what Aristotle taught people in 10,000 years, whatever ago, stuff like that. But yeah, it's always like they're always so interesting, and I know like I'm gonna watch most of these videos because I've watched thousands of videos on my account, so it's like it knows what I'm gonna watch, and it's just like it's so hard at this point for me. I don't know if other people have this problem. Like the algorithm's getting so good that I think they need to serve less videos because it stresses me out. I'm like which one do I pick? I want to watch them all.
Is there an analytic that you wish you had?
I would love to be able to see. Well, a bunch. Which one do I say? That's a hard one. I would love to be able to do A/B testing thumbnails. Yeah. I think we all agree. Yeah. Like that one, I don't even need to be. Second, I'd love to see, like if someone watches selling houses for $1, right? They watch this video, they watch all the way in to the end, and I would love to be able to see if they went and watch another video and another one, right? Or a better example would be like I did last Sleep Circle for $10,000, right? I'd love to be able to see, okay, well. A lot of people who watch this went and watched like Last Leaf Slime, and then actually you can see that. I just wish wish there's just an easier way to show it. Like follow viewers around.
You mean?
Well, you can click on a video suggest and see which video suggests it. I guess I'm just too lazy to dig through that. It'd just be cool to be able to see the viewing patterns of person. But the more I'm speaking it, the more I'm realizing there'd probably be privacy concerns if you could follow a user. I'm like, now I'm going to start backpedaling. Maybe that is.
But you mean like in aggregate? Like if it said
honestly,
but it does kind of show you that. It's people from this video are coming to your channel.
How about this? I'm an idiot. And that just disregard everything I just said there. The more I think about it, the dumber that was.
So there was a couple things on your financial statements that I found really interesting.
We're back to that.
He loved the financial statements.
I loved it. That was my favorite part of the trip.
They're fun to talk about because no one's ever seen them before.
Yeah. So one of the parts of your financial statement was also merchandise. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's not something we hear about that often with you unless it's like you're writing everyone's name on a wall or giving away a Tesla.
Yeah.
How do you interact with that? Are you like, does it interest you? I saw that it's like available in retailers.
Yeah, we're in Zoomies and that's going well. I don't know. I just like I'm so obsessed with like making the best videos possible that I hate promoting merch and videos because it drives people off the site, which hurts retention and you get promoted less. And then if someone's gonna watch that video in the next video, well, they watch this video, you send them to buy merch, they don't watch that next video, all around. So it's like I could make ungodly amounts of money if I promoted merch every video, but I just don't want to. I just want to make the best videos possible, So it's not what it could be, basically. Fraction of what it could be. If most videos, I don't even mention merch. Imagine if I promoted merch every single video. You know what I mean? Like, I would sell a bunch, but I don't know. I just want to make the best videos possible. And I don't think promoting merch makes a video better. But sometimes but let me backpedal a little bit. Sometimes I do need to promote it because some videos cost over $1 million and I don't do $1 million per video in ad revenue. So,
Yeah. All right. So we did a YouTube money calculator to see how much money your channel has made in total in its lifetime.
Okay. Well, lifetime.
Lifetime.
Yeah. Okay.
The main channel.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so that's off at 12 billion views.
12 billion views.
Okay.
So the number it gave us was $28 million.
So it's assuming like a $2.3 RPM. Mm-hmm. Interesting. I mean, obviously I've spent tens of millions of dollars on my videos, so the money has to come from somewhere. I will leave it at that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Because you've spent more than that.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, tens of millions of dollars have gone into my YouTube videos. Like, because I've taken all the money from the gaming channel, the Reacts channel, all the other stuff I'm doing, all my merch, all the brand deals, everything, gone right back into it. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's probably going to be a day where I'll spend over $1 billion on just YouTube videos in the future.
That's so crazy.
Obviously, I'm nowhere near that, but I'm talking like, 2 decades from now or a decade. Yeah.
Yeah. But in a year, you're spending
lots
more than I just said.
Yeah. Way more money than I should. Yeah. I mean, like some months we're spending like $4 or $5 million on videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
So crazy.
I saw it in the financial statements.
That stuff adds up. Try lighting a soccer field or something, right? Like, you kind of
try renting an NFL stadium.
Yeah, or any of that type of stuff. It's expensive. but
let alone payroll.
Best videos. Yeah.
As team grows.
I don't even want to get into that, man. It just.
How many people work here?
I don't know the exact number, because some people hire and we got a lot of.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a lot. Obviously, dozens of people. I'll leave it open for interpretation.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys speculate.
Yeah. Do you ever feel, you talked about like people always suggested that maybe you would get burnt out on YouTube. Yeah. Do you ever feel burnt out? Like are there times where you feel like
I think
tired?
My definition might be different than others. Like when some people are like, I'm burnt out, screw this, I'm done. Like never at that point. But yeah, like if I'm going like, I go from the time I get up to the time I go to bed like 3 days in a row, I'll be like, okay, like kind of want to like take half a day off and like chill, or like I'll feel it coming and stuff like that. But this is what I'm doing to the day I die. I don't care. Like I love this more than anything. Nothing's ever brought me a fraction of the joy.
What are the in-between moments like for you when you're like buried alive for 50 hours?
Yeah.
Like because we don't see all of it.
Well, you do. In between each thing, we show time lapses so you could see I was in there the whole time. But I mean, yeah, still,
but
you don't
I'm
see
saying I don't see your reaction.
Of course,
like I don't see if you're enjoying it in the middle of it.
I'm not.
I don't know if the point is to enjoy that one.
Here, let me just put this out there. I did not enjoy being buried alive, so we're all on the same page. My back hurt from laying on a wooden board for 50 hours. The thing is like, sometimes I got a little claustrophobic, and I'd be like, oh God, like I can't stand up if I wanted to, but I'd just be like. We did our research. We tested it. We buried the box for like, what was it? Tareq, do you know? I don't care. Like 5-10 days beforehand. Like we did extensive research. So every time I'd be like, oh God, I can't move. There's thousands of pounds of dirt on me. I could die. I'm like, nope. We did the research. Trust math. I'm not gonna die. You know what I mean? I had to just remind myself multiple times, like, nope, you're good. Because like it was a see-through coffin, so it's different than just a normal one. Every time I look up, I just see dirt, and it's like just the only thing stopping that dirt from just suffocating me and collapsing on me is just this glass like this thick, and that's the only thing standing between me and whatever, like 8 feet of dirt.
So we were in one of your meetings yesterday, and it's for one of your upcoming videos, and they brought up that there are boa constrictors, and that boa constrictors were a real threat to this production to you. Mm-hmm. And that, while they're not poisonous, they can crush your body in a matter of, minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll keep the medic within a minute.
So the discussion was around where the medic should be.
So
how many medics we should have.
Yeah, we're putting 2 medics stationed, so they're close enough that they can stop me from getting killed by a boa constrictor.
So have you developed an appetite for pain, for managing fear and discomfort?
Well, I mean, it's strategic. Like we don't ever do anything where I could die. Like buried alive, there was a 0% chance anything would happen to me. Like we did our research, we hired consultants, we spent over $250,000 building that coffin. Like there was no risk. I was probably safer down there than I was up above the ground, and like genuinely, I mean that. I was safer in that box than if driving the car home afterwards. If you really think about it, just like when they say you're safer in a plane than you are driving a car, and so it's like we don't leave anything up to chance. We're very tactical, and we account for all that stuff. Yeah.
But like opportunity to die is one thing, but like just discomfort, like feeling
discomfort,
feeling claustrophobic, getting really, really sunburned. Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Like when I counted to 100,000, but even before that, I cut a table in half with plastic knives, which took God knows like days of just sawing. Because I was in math class when I was in high school, and I had a plastic knife in my pocket from lunch. I don't know why I put it there, and I just like sawed a little bit. I was like, oh. Wait, you can cut a table in half, like on my desk, you can cut a table in half with a plastic knife. And then I just threw it away. And then later that day, I was like, wait a minute. And then I ran to the store late at night, and my mom's like, what the f are you doing? I'm like, it's just buying knives. She didn't know I was a YouTuber, like doing videos back then. And I had no money or anything, but I just bought like $5 worth of plastic knives. And I just grabbed one of our tables and just started cutting it. And I hit record, and I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna cut this table in half with plastic knives. And then it's just like, I thought it would take like 4 hours, but like a dozen go by and I'm not even halfway done. And I'm just like cutting a table in half with plastic knives. I don't know why, it was so dumb.
I think if I was your mom and I was watching a video of you watching paint dry, I'd be like, what does Jimmy do?
I know, right?
What does Jimmy do?
That came on the back end of counting to 100,000.
Right.
Right after I dropped out of college and had to move out. Good times.
Yeah.
She thought I was going crazy.
Wait, so you dropped out of college and then you moved out of your...
Well, have we talked about
I don't think
my
we've
college?
talked about that.
I don't know. So, no.
Okay,
Let's talk about college.
Yeah, so I didn't want to go to college. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I sure you should. I'm not saying it's bad, blah, blah. But for me, I hate school. I hate it. I just want to make YouTube videos. That's all I ever want to do. That's all I ever wanted to do. But I didn't have the best grades in school. Didn't really have a job. I wasn't making enough after I graduated high school. So my mom was just like, either you go to college or you move out. Like, you're not going to live here and not go to college. Whatever. She wants what's best for me. It's not her being mean. It's like, obviously she didn't think this magical YouTube thing would work out. So she's like, you got to have some type of future. You can't just bet it all on the internet forever till you die. And so I need to say the story in a way where it doesn't make my mom sound mean, because like she did it because she loves me. But so I go to college. It's community college. It's not that expensive, whatever. And I just couldn't stand it, man. It made me just so depressed. I hate it. I hate stuff. I just want to be a YouTuber. That's it. And so after 2 weeks, literally just 2 weeks, I just stopped going. But I didn't have enough money to move out. I wasn't making anything. So I just didn't tell my mom. And then I would act like I was going to college, and then I would like just sit in my car in the college campus and just work on videos or edit or just work on a script or something. And then I'd come home and I'd be like, hey, Mom, college is great. And then I'd keep working. And
that can't last for that long.
Yeah.
No, and thankfully I don't remember what happened. I remember sitting in like on the stairs in front of one of the college classrooms. I was like talking to James, one of the people you met, and I was like, yo, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but like I've just been grinding every hour of the day, and I just made like 20 grand a month. I was like, I'm ready to like tell Mom that I'm failing every class and move out tomorrow. And he's like, okay. And I picture that because it's like 11 p.m. and I'm just pacing, and then I'm like, yeah, Mom, I have zeros and everything. I haven't been going. And I was like, I'll move out tomorrow. And then I moved out the next day, and she was so mad. But I was starting to finally make money, and so I could afford to move out. And there you go.
How much longer after it was that your mom started working with you?
Probably then a year after that. Yeah. And then I quickly got to the point where I was making her whole salary every month. And it was like, why are you working? And people thought I was dumb. The first thing I did was retired my mom. And people were like, why would you do that? You should save money for yourself. And I was like, I love my mom. She's great. I'm factually the best mom on the planet. Like, your mom's second, whoever's watching this. But yeah, I put her through a lot with poor grades, poor everything. And like, I mean, in a world where like, you know, I fail college and nothing comes out of this YouTube thing, it's just funny.
I think what I could tell from meeting your mom was that your mom loves like the story of you becoming who you are today.
She loves it so much.
You go around to all the other studios and offices, and there's really like, there's no photos of you on the wall for the most part. There's no like pictures from videos, screenshots, anything.
There's a lot
like
of play
that.
buttons.
There's a lot of play buttons. I'll say that.
I'm sure they're playing a clip of them.
There's a lot of play buttons. But it wasn't until we went to the office where your mom works, where we walk in, and it's like a MrBeast museum. And I was like, oh, okay, so she's the one who's nostalgic about this entire journey.
Yeah, because I remember before I did that thing, like 2 weeks into college, I was like trying to negotiate with my mom. I was like, all right, here's the deal. I'll go to college if you do all my homework. You do all the homework. She's like, no. I was like, but I can't do this. I was like, I have to make videos. Like, this makes me sad. This makes me happy. And she's like, this doesn't make money. This will make money. And I'm like, but this makes me happy. And she's like, no. And I forgot that part. That's when I stopped going. When my mom wouldn't agree to do all my homework for me. Another funny story is, and I don't know why so early in the semester we had this, but we had to pair up with random people to do a project. And I had a partner, and I just never came back. And like, I completely forgot about it, but we were supposed to be working on something. And like 3 months later, he messaged me, or no, 3 months, sorry, I jumped. Like 2 weeks later, he was like, yo, we still doing this? And I was like, I'm never coming back to college. And he's like, so do I tell the professor? And then he messaged me like 2 months later. He was like, oh yeah, they ended up going easy on me because my partner left. And he like called me and told me about it. And like, it was like the running bit in the class, because we got a project together assigned, and then I just never came back. And he was just left with the whole thing, and everyone else had a partner.
Well, you may have gotten him a better grade through sympathy.
Exactly, that's what he said. And so I'm glad it worked out for him. But it was funny. I felt so bad.
It's funny. Your mom told us that story too, about how when you started making more than her paycheck every month, like that's when she was like, oh, wow.
Which was a big deal for us.
That's a huge deal.
We didn't have any money. Like, again, I don't want to over dramatize it, but we really didn't have much. And so like the second I could, like, she didn't have to work twice on Wednesdays, and maybe could take a little bit of time off, and she could like actually breathe for the first time in her life and stuff like that.
How did she like see that? Like, where was that money coming from? From AdSense or from brand deals or from
God,
everything?
If I know at this point.
You don't know.
I mean, I wasn't selling merch.
Yeah.
I mean, I was probably doing brand deals but no, I didn't even do my first brand deal until I moved out. Because the 10K brand deal was my first one, and that was when I was living at my new house. So that was after I dropped out. So yeah, I was probably doing like 20, 30 grand a month in ad revenue.
So whoever gave you that first 10K brand deal got a lot of bang for their buck.
Adam from Quid. Yeah.
Got it.
Adam. Shout out to him, which he works at Current now, and he's really smart.
Oh, that's cool.
He's cool. We still work together to this day. It's funny because he does
that's
marketing
crazy
for other companies. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had a lot of long-term relationships with these brands.
Because I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to be here in 10 years.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like with Honey and with Current. Like those are like that. Now it sounds like it's even longer term with Adam. That's cool.
Exactly. I mean, hiring Adam is cheat codes for your company because he just knows so many creators. And like, if he was just at some company that's doing like $1 million a year in revenue or whatever, I'd still probably work with him just because I like the dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
So this space now, this is now the official like biggest single investment you've made.
Oh, of course. By 20 billion folds. You know
and
what I mean?
as we, like, you guys are only seeing the inside of this space, but there's also a lot of space around it.
I don't know if I want to go too in depth, but
sure.
more acres than you could ever need. We're going to build 20,000 square feet of office. We're going to build a replica of this. I mean, the problem is, like I talked about before, if we have multiple warehouses, but since the videos take months to do, and I want to upload in an ideal world for a month. So, and if videos take 90 days to do, you know what I mean? Like that's 12 videos that in the next 90 days you got to do. And if you're not working on them now, then they won't happen in 90 days. And so it's the bottleneck space. You know what I mean? Like I've told you guys this a million times, but this is for you guys. Like if one video is taking up all of our studio, well, we have 11 other videos to work on, and they can't happen until that. And so we just need tons of space to be able to work on videos months in advance, because if we don't, they don't happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. What do you think would be like a dream collaboration or dream video to do out of here? Do you have something like that in mind?
Dream collaboration or dream video?
Not dream, but meaning, like dream.
No, dream
like,
would be my dream collab. There you go. I mean, if he did a face reveal, there's no way he would let me get the clout for that. But if he did in one of our videos, he just pulled off his mask, that would be epic.
Yeah.
Just all of them. Yeah. I mean, if I can pick whatever I want, craft the ultra viral video, it'd be like Corpse and Dream and all these people lined up. And it's just like one after another, they just take the mask off. Guaranteed 200 million views.
I know. When we were playing basketball last night, and Sapnap was like, "Yeah, I live with Dream." I was like, "Oh, wow." So
you've seen the face. Hey, you want to sketch it out for us?
Do I ask you, or do I not ask you, or what do I do?
What color's his eyes?
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that would be a very viral video.
Yeah,
that would be wild.
Of course, but obviously that wouldn't happen.
You just don't need all this space for that.
That's true.
Or maybe you do. Maybe you do it in a way where you do need the space.
My dream is uploading consistently, which that is a bigger thing. We're all like, some months I don't even upload videos. Some months we upload 4 videos. Some months we upload 1. It's just like,
what does consistently mean for you? Is that once a week, or are you just saying any type
right
of
now? I just
consistency?
want to upload once a week, but long term in the future, like 3+ years from now, I'd love to get to the point where we're doing 2 original giant spectacles, never before seen, better than everyone else, fucking huge, ginormous, best video in the goddamn world videos twice a week.
Do you think that any of your other videos, do you think any of the other channels will pass your main channel ever? No. You don't think so?
I mean,
even
if it
like
was,
foreign language, even like India, like could India, the Hindi one, could that pass the main one?
Audience-wise, more people could watch it, but I doubt it would pass the main, just because it's dubbed. It will get up there though, a large percentage. Like the Espanol channel, and I'm sure you're showing it as we're doing this. Like it's getting 2+ million views per video, and I mean, it's the same video, just dubbed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, which that already is wild for dubbed content.
Totally, but it's like this. It's actually a classic strategy in every other type
every
of entertainer.
Disney film or whatever. Or
Like,
I'm a huge fan of anime, and like I saw this one video of Naruto where they like compare a really emotional scene in like 10 different languages, and it's just funny.
I mean, when I used to go to India when I was a kid, I would watch Friends in Hindi. Like,
really,
I'd sit there, and like.
Do you speak Hindi?
I understand it fluently. I don't speak it.
Can I just hear a sentence in Hindi?
Sure. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Namaste, aap kaise ho?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That means, hi, how are you doing?
Tareq, you want to talk in Arabic for us?
Let's do it all.
What's that word you always say? Habibi?
Habibi. Yeah.
Habibi's like for a friend, or Assalamu alaikum, ahla wa sahla. It's like, peace be upon you.
It's
welcome.
calming just to hear people
It
talking
is.
about
Yeah,
it.
it is. Yeah.
I don't know why.
It really is.
They're watching to learn more about YouTube. They're taking notes, and I'm just like, "Hey, Tareq, talk in Arabic." And they're like, "Okay, cameraman talks in Arabic."
Comedian, cameraman speaks Arabic. Yeah.
Okay, we got the formula.
It's interesting, like if you don't know what someone else is saying and it's a different language, you can sort of like surrender the fact that you need to understand.
Exactly.
Or that you need to pay attention to comprehend. You're just listening as if
I
it's
kind of
like,
get that.
you know?
Yeah.
Where you're just like, I don't have to, I just get to enjoy that.
Yeah, just sit there and la la land.
Yeah, but that's why visual storytelling is so important. Like
That's
just
true,
stuff
yeah.
that doesn't need language. That's like the stuff that at least I've seen goes the most viral.
Well, and I know we've been going on for a while, but now it is the time to hit us with the most important question, because you're rehooking the viewers. You're telling them this video is not over. What's the big question to keep them watching?
Last time you were on our channel, you told everyone that if they subscribed, you would pick one of them and you give away $1,000. Or actually,
No, you guys gave
you
it.
told them that we would give away
Did you do
$1,000.
it?
Yeah, we did it.
We did it.
I
We
was
did
about
it,
to say,
and
because
we
I
did
didn't
it.
do it.
No, we did it and we
So-
filmed it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My question now for you is, if people are watching this video and they subscribe, how much money do they
get?
if either we
How much
give
money
it or
do we
you
give them? Yeah.
Okay, how about this? If
Yeah.
you subscribe, not you, but one random person that does, I'll give you this Gatorade bottle. I'm gonna give it to you.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
they'll
Ship-
give you $500.
Okay. Deal. Yeah,
you go.
you can get this unopened.
Here, actually, no,
unopened.
No, here, let
Yeah.
me make it less valuable for you.
Okay.
Here, we'll just drink a sip. Clip this, sell this on eBay with this clip. Someone pay $500 for this.
That
There you
we
go.
are literally going to take this. So if you subscribe to the channel, you can win this, and you can win $500.
There you
we'll
go.
pick one random person.
All you gotta do is hit that subscribe button. We're closing in on 1 million subscribers. The second they just start getting 70% retention on a video.
We're closing in the second they do the things I tell them to. Yeah. All right,
Can't
cool.
wait to find out who gets this.
Whoever gets it, don't drink it. Damn it.
Watch,
gonna be
this
funny.
gets like NFT'd. and then-
Yeah, that's gonna get NFT'd.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean, I'm happy with
I'm
that.
happy.
Yeah,
man.
that was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
Unless
well,
you
then
wanna-
that means we should abruptly end it for good retention.